Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer. Our policy is to provide equal opportunity employment, development, and advancement to all current and potential teammates. If you are an organization that maintains a job bank, provides employment information, or gives job referrals, you may request to be placed on the station's mailing list for future career opportunities. To learn more about careers at Good Karma Brands, please email careers@goodkarmabrands.com.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Accunet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
Flimsy, feeble, flaccid. That's how you can describe most pre-approval letters these days, because most banks still issue pre-approval letters without actually verifying your income, employment, or down payment. That's the exact opposite of an Accunet rock-solid, fully verified and guaranteed pre-approval, where we put a $2,000 guarantee behind the fact the seller can actually rely on the terms of your pre-approval and offer. With Accunet, there's also a possibility of issuing a property-specific pre-approval with as little as a 10% down payment that includes the magic words, "no appraisal required." That's right, Accunet may be able to issue your pre-approval without needing an appraisal. That's the kind of certainty that can help a seller say yes to your offer. Sure, you can try competing with a flimsy bank pre-approval, or you can click on the blue button at Accunet.com and get started with the pre-approval listing agents and sellers recognized as the best in the business. That's ACCUNET.com.
Meet Alan, who was diagnosed with sleep apnea.
I was what they call a mouth breather, and I would breathe at night with my mouth open.
And for about 8 years, Alan struggled with a CPAP machine. And then
I saw the Advent commercial, and I thought, well, what do you got to lose? This machine is miserable.
For most people, CPAP machines are miserable, but a simple breathing triangle solution from Advent can be life-changing.
And it really was, to me, it was amazing, because I don't think I ever breathed that clear.
This is Dr. Madan Kandula. After having one of Advent's simple breathing triangle procedures, people are amazed at how freely and clearly they can breathe.
I'm happy with the procedure. I'm very glad I did it. I wish I would have done it 20 years ago. I could have avoided that machine I had to have laying next to the bed with the hose wrapped around my head.
Schedule your appointment at AdventKnows.com, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better. Most insurance accepted.
Find furniture for life from Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, or downtown Milwaukee.
Traffic is sponsored by the amazing Mine Shaft Restaurant in downtown Hartford.
The Mine Shaft Restaurant in Hartford Mother's Day brunch is an all-you-can-eat feast and under $25. Reserve your table today. MineShaftRestaurant.com. It's the amazing Mine Shaft.
It's time for a getaway to Florida to take on the Rays on the other side of Tampa Bay.
Breaking ball, hammered out to center. Myers back at the track. Wall, bye-bye baseball. Jake Bowers goes deep to center.
Our coverage starts tonight at 5:35 on your home for the Milwaukee Brewers. 620 WTMJ Milwaukee.
I'm John Mercure. Your top story still on lockdown in Fredonia.
I'm Julia Fellow, making his first appearance in court when he did not commit the crime.
I'm Debbie Lazaga, and northbound on 43 backing up out of the Marquette all the way up towards Keith. The southbound side slowing from just south of Hampton down past North Avenue. Westbound 94, you've got some delays basically from 13th Street all the way to Mitchell Boulevard. Eastbound's got a few pockets of heavy traffic between 76th Street and 35th. And then the heavy stuff. Southbound on 41 still backed up from about Good Hope Road all the way down past Capitol. Northbound from Watertown Plank Road up to Hampton. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
Tonight, cloudy, a low of 49 degrees. Tomorrow, sunny, a high of 72. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, a tactical situation is ongoing in Fredonia. It started just before midnight. Ozaukee County reporter Alex Gall for TMJ4 tells us the residents in the area have been given two options by law enforcement.
They were told that they have basically two options this morning, that the officers can escort them out of their homes, the ones that are being affected by this in the neighborhood, or they can stay at home and stay inside because, again, this is a situation where the suspect is believed to have weapons inside the home.
The police are calling the man inside extremely dangerous and heavily armed.
The father of the Madison school shooter makes his first appearance in Dane County Court. 42-year-old Jeffrey Rupnow's case faces 3 felony charges connected to providing weapons to his daughter, 15-year-old Natalie Rupnow. Dane County District Attorney.
These facts allege that Mr. Rupnow purchased and provided firearms and allowed unlimited access to the internet to his minor child, knowing her concerning history and fragile mental health status. There was no other person who knew the child better than the defendant. His actions and lack of judgment here contributed to the fatal and tragic mass violence incident at Abundant Life Christian.
The teenager used the legally purchased guns in the deadly school shooting at Abundant Life Christian School in December. That's what court records say. Cash bond set at $20,000. Rupnow due in court next month.
The Pentagon has new instructions for their leaders about books.
The Pentagon is ordering military leaders to pull and review all of their library books that address diversity, anti-racism, and gender issues. The memo orders the review by May 21st. It's the most extensive directive yet, as Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth seeks to remove diversity and equity programs and policies from the military. Wendy Gillette, CBS News.
More leadership changes at Kohl's. The Milwaukee Journal Sentinel reports board member Christine Day has resigned just days after shareholder meeting where she was nominated for re-election. This comes after the board fired the CEO, Ashley Buchanan, and his former board chair, Michael Bender, became the interim CEO. The board will now vote on 8 members instead of 10 tomorrow.
Coming up, how much would you pay for a piece of the Pope's history?
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 3:05.
We didn't write the headline. The Wall Street Journal did. The days of set and forget investing just ended for many Americans. Market shifts, economic uncertainty, and global unrest. It's a wake-up call. No doubt, standard financial advice is to avoid making rash decisions during market turmoil, and we're totally on board with that. But retirement planning isn't a set-it-and-forget-it process anymore. That's where Annex Wealth Management comes in. As fee-only fiduciaries, we craft personalized financial, retirement, estate, and tax plans that adapt as needed and put your goals first always. Already with another firm, but getting the feeling you're lost in the shuffle or they just can't keep up? A second opinion could be the smartest move you could make. If you're managing it yourself, we'll fill in the gaps with professional precision. You work hard to build your future. Don't leave it to chance. Put a pro on your side. Get a proactive plan from a fee-only fiduciary. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Head to annexwealth.com and click the Get Started button.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here for QC Kinetics. For more than 8 years, QC Kinetics has been the nation's leader in non-surgical relief for joint pain. You heard that right, non-surgical relief. More than 50,000 patients who had knee pain, back pain, now living pain-free. Those with shoulder and hip pain, it's gone. The regenerative cell therapy restores tissues in your achy joints. Dr. Caravelli's team uses biologic growth factors with robust healing properties carefully and strategically placed in your joint. And there's no surgery. Remember that. It's a powerful and potent way to give your joints new life, repairing the old tissue. Here's what you do. You call today, 414-285-3474, 414-285-3474. Call QC Kinetics for your free consultation. 414-285-3474. Call QC Kinetics today.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 3:07.
Pope Leo XIV grew up in Dalton, Illinois, which is on the south side of Chicago. And now his original home that he grew up in is for sale. WTMJ's Libby Collins spoke to the Illinois realtor on what happened when he learned he's selling this.
He was at the hospital with his wife, who's like 9 months pregnant, and he said, "Holy cow, that's like winning the lotto."
The 5-bedroom, 2-bathroom house was originally listed for $200,000, but the owner may now have other plans. Hear the whole interview on Wisconsin's Weekend Morning News this Sunday.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk. The Brewers begin a 3-game series with the Tampa Bay Rays tonight in Florida at the Yankees Spring Training Complex because the Rays are building a new stadium. Coverage begins at 5:30 on WTMJ. The Brewers recall pitcher Brian Hudson and infielder Andrew Monasterio from AAA Nashville. Infielder Vinny Capra has been designated for assignment, and it's possible Brandon Woodruff could make a start on the back end of the road trip. Brewers manager Pat Murphy.
To fight through this injury that a lot of pitchers never make it back from. We're just all pulling for them really, really hard. That'll be a great moment.
And the season's on the line tonight for the Milwaukee Admirals taking on the Rockford Ice Hogs. It's Game 4 of their playoff series. Puck drops at 7 o'clock tonight in Rockford.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 3:08.
We did the math. When you buy bagged mulch from the big guys, you pay $50 a yard. Why pay more for inferior mulch? When you buy from Erickson's, you'll get premium mulch for almost half the cost. And you'll see that even our economy mulch is better, for less than half the cost of bag mulch. And either choice is made with premium colorant that lasts longer. Erickson's Landscape Supply, high-quality mulch and stone for a whole lot less. Commercial or residential, visit ericksonslandscapesupply.com to see our entire selection. Do you want the economy mulch or the premium? The only real difference is that the premium mulch has thicker strands, while the economy mulch is finer. But the colorant we use for both is of the highest quality, and that's why the color of our mulch lasts longer. And our mulch comes from trees, not pallets, and we process it all in-house. That's why our prices are so low. Erickson's Landscape Supply, high-quality mulch and stone for a whole lot less. Commercial or residential, visit ericksonslandscapesupply.com to see our entire selection.
Wisconsin's Afternoon News is on the air, broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue in beautiful downtown Milwaukee. Here are your hosts, John McCure and Julia Fellow.
Happy Friday. How's that?
It's beautiful out.
Oh, my God, it's beautiful out. We shot our promotional video outside about 2 o'clock. It was so nice out. The sun is out. It's going to be nice and warm this weekend. All right, let's get to the things that we're chasing down today.
This is the 3 at 3 on Wisconsin's Afternoon News.
Number 1, John, the incredible reaction reporters got from Pope Leo's brothers here in America. Here's his brother John Prevost talking to ABC News about what it was like to grow up with a future pope.
Well, he liked to play, some people play school or some people play army. He played priest, and we had to go to Mass. The ironing board was the altar.
So cool. His other brother, Louis, was tracked down by the New York Times and learned from him about his brother's hesitation if he ever became pontiff.
Did he have any desire for it, or?
Not really. It wasn't. Absolutely not, God forbid. And then it became, well, if it's what God wants, then we'll do it.
He added that they all play Wordle with each other these days, but they hadn't got a hold of their brother as of yesterday because everything's taken away during the conclave.
That's super cool. Not as cool as this. There are new Falcon babies, the We Energies Falcons. Just in time for Mother's Day, the Mama Falcons are giving birth. If you want to see right now what's going on with the little Falcons, you can text the word Falcon, F-A-L-C-O-N, Falcon, to 855-616-1620. Okay, I'm looking right now at the Oak Creek plant. Oh my gosh, there's 4 little fuzzy bundles of fur. They're cuddling. Look how cold they look, Julia.
Sleeping now.
Is this what it sounds like?
Well, they were just screaming before it accidentally went on air.
Look at how cuddled they are.
Oh, they're perfectly origami cuddled.
They are. Oh. The mama must be off getting dinner.
They're each sleeping on each other's bottom in a circle.
Like in a big circle. Oh my gosh, they are so cute.
Fluffy.
They are so cute. So there are, I think, 3 of them there, right? There's 5 altogether. There's 1 at Valley Power Plant, 2 at Port Washington, and I think that looks like 3, so there's 6 of them.
They were screaming before.
Yeah, that is super cute.
Oh,
That's actually them.
Yes, that's them. Just one of them. They were all going at it.
Oh, I think there's 4 of them.
I see 4 heads. So cute.
Oh, they are so cute. Text the word Falcon, and you can see what we're going gaga over.
So cute. Okay, let me turn this off so I can show you number 3.
Cute.
This is so great. Victory in Europe Day, or VE Day, was celebrated in the United Kingdom yesterday. It's the 80th anniversary of the end of World War II when the Germans surrendered May 8th, 1945. Winston Churchill was the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom during the war. Winston Churchill's great-great-grandson, Alexander, lit a candle of peace alongside King Charles at Westminster Abbey yesterday. And here he is after the service.
We're just very proud to know that he is part of our family. Also, I think it's very important for our generation, my generation, to say thank you to all the veterans and everyone who took part in the war. I think people can learn that they should never forget.
He's just 10 years old.
Oh my gosh, he is super cute and smart.
Yes, he's adorable.
Wow.
It was great.
That is really cool. Back to the Falcons.
So many Falcon
They are
texts.
cuddling and looking really cool. Text the word Falcon. You can see him. This makes my heart so happy.
So cute.
Up next, there is a student from Marquette, a sophomore there, who is in Rome right now. He rushed to the square yesterday when the smoke turned white. He is with us from the Eternal City. Up next on WTMJ.
A Brewers group outing is the best way to celebrate any special occasion. Whether it's a birthday party, anniversary, or bachelor party, baseball is better with the group. Grab your crew of just 15 or more for an event you won't forget. Brewers account reps make your day at the ballpark a breeze. Plus, get set up with customizable tailgate spaces, seating blocks in your favorite location at American Family Field, and much more. Start planning your group outing now at brewers.com/groups.
Hey, this is Steve Cavini for WTMJ. We are having fun at the 70th anniversary celebration taking here at Blaine's Farm and Fleet in Oak Creek, right here on Rawson Avenue, just east of I-94. So this weekend, across the Fleet Farm Network, they have all Farm and Fleet Network, they're celebrating 70 years. So what can you do? You have DIYs, all kinds of interesting demonstrations, anniversary celebrations, DIY trail mix station. You want to learn how to make trail mix? Easy. Gardening activity, power tool demo, dehydrating made easy. All those home jerky makers, that's me, beef jerky, they'll show you how to do that. A lot of giveaways and sweepstakes all happening this weekend. What I love about this place, everybody's family. My wife's here, my piano teacher's here, neighbors are here. That's what they're about at Blaine's Farm and Fleet. They're about family, integrity, honesty, and awesome products and prices. Check it out all this weekend in Oak Creek and at Blaine's Farm and Fleet, celebrating 70 years of outstanding customer service.
Hey, it's Vince Vitrano from Wisconsin's Morning News. It's baseball season, which means Brewers 360 is back every day at 8:40. Sponsored by Outdoor Living Unlimited. Every day, all season long, we're joined exclusively by Brewers guests, including manager Pat Murphy and more. So Murphy, as we're wrapping up our interview.
Great talking. We really enjoyed it, okay?
I was like, you did? Is he just in a good mood, or what'd y'all do to Murph?
Brewers 360 is sponsored by Outdoor Living Unlimited and Big Fish Contracting.
Traffic is sponsored by St. Vincent de Paul Thrift Stores.
St. Vincent de Paul Thrift Stores. Highway 100 and Layton Avenue in Greenfield. 23rd and Lincoln and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee. Great bargains and a great cause. You're gonna love it. St. Vincent de Paul Thrift Stores.
Traffic and weather, Debbie Lazaga. Happy Friday, Deb.
Happy Friday. And it's looking okay out there right now. We do have one incident with the left lane blocked. Actually, it's a broken down vehicle on 41 southbound right at Appleton Avenue. So careful with that. It stays heavy all the way down past Burleigh, though, so keep that in mind. Northbound, slowing down from Watertown Plank Road all the way up to Silver Spring. Northbound 43, backing up out of the Marquette up to Keefe. Southbound slow from just before Capitol Drive all the way down to Burleigh. And then on westbound 94, slowing from 13th Street all the way to Mitchell Boulevard. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
Tonight, mostly clear, low of 49. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, a high of 72. Sunday, sunny, mild, 77. On Monday, sunny and mild, a high of 80. On Tuesday, partly cloudy, a high of 80 degrees. We are joined by Marquette student William de Guzman, who is studying in Rome. He's with us. Thank you so much for being with us, William.
Of course. Thank you for having me again.
Oh, my gosh. The excitement here when there was smoke and everybody got jazzed up must be nothing compared to what it was like there. Tell us yesterday where you were when the smoke started to come and what you did.
So we were actually on the way to St. Peter's Square, and then all of a sudden one of my friends goes, "No, the white smoke come out." So we decided to run as a group to St. Peter's. It took us about 5 minutes to get there, and it was already packed when we arrived.
Oh, my goodness. Was everybody running at that point?
Yeah, people were freaking out. There were people jumping on Lime scooters, bicycles, anything they could to get to the square as fast as can.
I know you're wrapping up your studies there, and as a Catholic, what did it mean? What did you feel when there was the signal that, oh my gosh, we have a new pope? What was going through you as you ran to the square?
Just pure excitement and adrenaline, I think. Really just wanted to know which cardinal they picked and also what name he was going to take, but just excitement.
So when Pope Leo the 14th walked out, what was your reaction?
was kind of stunned. St. Peter's, they really shut down the service, so I couldn't really send any texts. I was barely getting texts on my phone. The people around us, someone kind of just shouted out, he's an American, and I was like, there's no way. I even think I said to John in the last interview, I said, I don't think we're going to have an American Pope in my lifetime, and I was proved wrong.
Yeah, you did say that, and everybody thought that. Everybody, even the experts, didn't have this happening. So now what is your reaction to there being an American-born Pope?
I think it's pretty cool. I think it's also really inspiring. It kind of just opens a whole world of possibilities, and looking forward to the things he's going to do in his pontificate.
The Vatican said it's a second pope from the Americas. That's how they put it. Does this boost your faith in what you want to do in life?
Yeah, I'd say absolutely. I think as a Catholic discerning, I think it's really inspiring that American is able to be in the highest office.
So the word discernment isn't used a lot, William, in everyday life, but it's very important to men and women who want to be part of the religious life. You're discerning to become a priest. Does that mean you're thinking about it? Does that mean you're already in the process? What does that mean?
Yeah, more thinking about it and really just continue to pray to try to understand what God's will is for my life. So kind of just taking it day by day. I know I'm currently still in college, but continuing to just try to pray and understand that.
Well, it's interesting because one of Pope Leo's brothers was tracked down, and they said, we knew he was going to do it, almost out of the womb. Like, that's what he wanted to do. He wanted to play a priest when they played. But also, as of a couple of years ago, he said, no, I don't want to become Pope. That's too much. And then he said the weight of it, if I'm chosen, I'm okay. Are you almost to the point of go with the flow of what's going to happen in your future?
Yeah, kind of just take it day by day. I know I still have 2 years left at college, but continue to just pray and trust that the Lord will let me know what his will is.
Mm-hmm. I know your parents, and they're very, very proud of you. They're proud of the young man that you are. Do you think it's more likely you become a priest or more likely you don't?
I'd probably say more likely. I think this has definitely stirred something really deep within my heart. I think I've really fallen in love with the city of Rome and really fallen in love with the church and the joy that comes from a relationship with Christ.
How long have you been there?
Since January 14th, so a little over 3 months.
And your last day is today?
Yeah, I leave tomorrow at 6 a.m.
Are you conflicted? It's like a great vacation adventure you've been on because of the timing within the church, and now you have to come back to America. Maybe I should say you get to come back to America. How are you feeling about your journey there, at least for now, wrapping up?
Yeah, definitely bittersweet. Been so privileged to be here for such just surreal experience. Definitely looking forward to coming home, seeing my family and friends, and telling the absolutely incredible stories of everything I've experienced over here.
I saw an interview with another young man in Rome this morning, and he said Rome today almost feels like it has a hangover. Yesterday was the high, and there was the energy. And what does Rome feel like today, the day after all the excitement?
Yeah, I think people are definitely still in shock. I kind of had to pinch myself and be like, wow, we really have an American Pope. I know all my friends and myself were out celebrating last night, and really just a lot of excitement and joy for what the future holds.
There's really people from all over the world that go to Vatican City. So what was the reaction on the ground? Were people making stink faces that it was an American, or were they hopeful? Because usually it's not like a high-powered country that the Pope comes from.
I think mostly hopeful. I don't think they really view the papacy as a political power. So I think no matter who cardinal that came out, I think people were going to be happy and excited to support him.
As a person close to their faith, what are you looking forward to discovering about this new Pope and about his reign?
I'd probably just say the major issues he's going to focus on. He took the name Leo, so typically associated with Pope Leo XIII, who was a major contributor to Catholic social teaching. So really focusing on the dignity of the human person, and we'll see what he does.
Is Rome exhausted?
Yeah, I think so. I think we're all a little tired, but still have that adrenaline and excitement from yesterday.
What an incredible moment for you to witness this history with your faith.
Yeah, super blessed to be here, and I'm glad I could see the new Pope just before I leave.
It's like a front row seat. I mean, you were there, you met Pope Francis, and then you were there for Pope Francis on Easter Sunday. You were there to mourn him. Talk briefly about the emotions that you've felt over the past couple of weeks.
Yeah, I think the overall word would be gratitude. I think I've been here just to experience history really unfolding.
William de Guzman,
Yes,
a Marquette
yeah.
sophomore in Rome. Thank you so much for sharing your story with us.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Such a young guy.
He's only 19. Can you believe that?
And what he's experienced to be there for the stuff with Pope Francis. He only got there in January, and he got to meet Pope Francis shortly after that. He was at Easter Mass when Pope Francis, that was the day before he died, in the square. He saw Pope Francis in the little Pope mobile. He said he was up close and personal. And now he was there when the white smoke came and the new Pope came out. It's amazing.
Bells are ringing. Wow.
I'm so impressed with him. He's an incredible young man.
I had no idea he was 19 until after the interview.
I know. Isn't it remarkable?
Mhm.
And now he gets to come home. He's coming home, coming
Wow.
back to
6
Milwaukee.
months of excellent
Yeah.
learning.
Pretty good stuff. Hey, coming up on the show, Natalie Rupnow is the shooter at Abundant Life Christian School. There's some fascinating new information tied to what happened on that tragic day. We've got that for you. Issues at Milwaukee Public Schools Central Office. Is there ever a week that there's not an issue at MPS schools? Alan Borsick is with us to dive into that. And as we get ready for that gardening, water-wise gardening, what you need to know to put all your plants in the perfect space. The plant doctor, Melinda Myers, will be with us coming up at 4:45. Before any of that, let's check the markets. It was kind of a bland week on the markets. Not a lot happened, and today was a reflection of that. The NASDAQ was up 1 point. 1 point on the day.
What?
I know. The Dow was off 119. The S&P was off 4 points. So a pretty quiet Friday during a pretty quiet week. Financial planning at every level. It's Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com.
Politics, work, daily stressors. Let's take a break from all that and get centered, Christ-centered. I'm Pastor Tim Butker. Join me each week for Christian Crusaders, a broadcast that highlights the gospel, the good news of Jesus, and our belief in the authoritative Word of God. Christ-centered, gospel-oriented, Bible-based Christian Crusaders. Please join us Sundays at 6 a.m. on WTMJ. We'd love to have you worship with us.
There's an amazing supper club in Wisconsin Dells, Ish Nala. Nestled among the pines and perched above the sandstone bluffs of Mirror Lake. The beauty, the history, the service, the food, the fun. Hi, this is Bob Prosser, owner of Ishnala Supper Club in Wisconsin Dells. I've been a part of Ishnala since 1973, and I am so proud to continue the tradition that began in 1953. Why not enjoy a brandy old-fashioned in one of our bars, each with a spectacular view overlooking Mirror Lake, or just relax before or after dinner on one of our outdoor decks. Our Ishnala chefs have prepared your favorites: 24-ounce ribeye, cold water lobster tails, North Atlantic salmon, and of course, Ishnala's roast duck. Thank you for making Ishnala Wisconsin's favorite supper club, where the only thing we overlook is Mirror Lake. I'm Bob Prosser, and I want to serve you.
Lake Geneva is the Midwest's premier golf destination, featuring breathtaking views, crystal clear lakes, and rolling fairways. Treat yourself to an all-inclusive golf getaway with courses designed for all skill levels, luxurious lodging, distinctive dining, and a relaxing spa. Plan a Lake Geneva group golf outing, a corporate event, or a weekend getaway with friends or family. Their pros will help you plan a memorable golf experience. For info on courses and more, visit lakegeneva.com today. Lake Geneva, it's always been the place for legendary golf.
We didn't write the headline. The Wall Street Journal did. The days of set and forget investing just ended for many Americans. Market shifts, economic uncertainty, and global unrest. It's a wake-up call. No doubt, standard financial advice is to avoid making rash decisions during market turmoil, and we're totally on board with that. But retirement planning isn't a set-it-and-forget-it process anymore. That's where Annex Wealth Management comes in. As fee-only fiduciaries, we craft personalized financial, retirement, estate, and tax plans that adapt as needed and put your goals first always. Already with another firm, but getting the feeling you're lost in the shuffle or they just can't keep up? A second opinion could be the smartest move you could make. If you're managing it yourself, we'll fill in the gaps with professional precision. You work hard to build your future. Don't leave it to chance. Put a pro on your side. Get a proactive plan from a fee-only fiduciary. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Head to annexwealth.com and click the Get Started button.
Whether you're a local who wants to enjoy a night out or you're planning to visit Milwaukee, enjoy an artfully stylish experience at St. Kate the Arts Hotel, conveniently located in the heart of downtown Milwaukee's Theater District. With deluxe accommodations, culinary creativity, on-site art galleries, artist in residence, and nightly live music, you'll enjoy every element of your stay at St. Kate. Learn more and book your stay at stkatearts.com.
John Mercure here for Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. There's no better time to upgrade your windows and doors than right frickin' now. You can get up to 6 years of 0% financing at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. That's right, no interest for up to 72 months. My goodness, that's like an eternity. And the full Pella experience is always included. That means the Pella team is with you from start to finish. They don't disappear after the work is done. No. You start with the free in-home consultation, same point of contact through the whole project, and should anything go wrong or you have any questions, they are there with you even after it's installed. A Pella design expert will listen to your vision, then work through the colors, the sizes, the customizations to make that vision a reality. I know it can feel overwhelming to consider what feels like limitless possibilities. Michelle and I worked with the Pella team, and they made it really, really easy and captured exactly what we wanted to do. Do it now, 0% financing for up to 6 years. Certain restrictions apply. Deal ends the end of the month. Get in touch now. Visit PellaWI.com.
I'm Jean Nemovitz of Bruce's team. Together with my husband Bruce and our dedicated team members, Erica and Cindy, we're here to guide you through one of life's biggest transitions, moving from your longtime home to a new one. With empathy, kindness, and understanding, we'll walk with you every step of the way, making the process as smooth and stress-free as possible. Let us take you from overwhelmed to I can do this. Call us today at 262-242-6177 or visit brucesteam.com.
Traffic is sponsored by the Heiser Automotive Group. For convenient car shopping and financing, visit Heiser Automotive Group at one of their 4 locations, Toyota, Chevy, Ford, Lincoln, and Cadillac. Or visit Heiser.com because today's your day.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on Wisconsin's radio station, News Radio WTMJ.
It's 3:30. I'm John Mercure. Your top story, arrested for trespassing at an ICE facility.
I'm Julia Fellow. No chance for a plea deal for Milwaukee's former attorney.
I'm Debbie Loziga. 41 southbound, right about at Silver Spring. We've got the left shoulder blocked with a crash. It was in traffic for a bit. And that's why we got backups all the way back to before Good Hope Road, all the way down past Capitol Drive. Northbound's heavy ride from Watertown Plank Road all the way up to about Hampton. We've got southbound 43 slowing from North Avenue down through the Marquette and onto the high rise. Northbound's coming out of delays coming out of the Marquette all the way up to Keefe. I'm Debbie Loziga with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
Also clear tonight. Isolated showers are possible late, a low of 49. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, a bit breezy, wind gusts up to 25 miles an hour. The high will be 72 degrees. Right now it's 55 degrees and sunny in Milwaukee.
From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, the mayor of Newark, New Jersey, gets arrested for allegedly trespassing at an ICE detention center.
ICE officers arrested Newark Mayor Ras Baraka, according to a City Hall spokesperson, accusing him of trespassing. It came as Representative Bonnie Watson Coleman and other elected officials paid a visit to Delaney Hall, an ICE prison that they say opened without permission in Newark, violating local ordinances. They said they wanted to see the conditions there. White House Deputy Chief of Staff Stephen Miller says politicians need to cooperate with immigration enforcement.
Anyone who doesn't comply with the laws and dictates of this country will face the appropriate legal consequences.
Wendy Gillette, CBS News.
2 court proceedings in one day for the man that Milwaukee County Judge Hannah Dugan is accused of helping evade arrest.
In state court, Eduardo Flores Ruiz faces 3 counts of misdemeanor battery. Milwaukee Circuit Judge David Feist granted a rare motion for Flores Ruiz's defense attorney to withdraw from the case.
I am going to find that there is a conflict of interest, that conflict would not be waivable.
In federal court, Flores Ruiz pled not guilty to illegally re-entering the U.S. He was deported in 2013. Then ICE agents found him in Milwaukee in March without proper authorization for re-entry. Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
U.S. trade talks with China are set to get underway after both sides raised tariffs, sparking a trade war. CBS's Erica Brown.
President Trump hinted on social media Friday that he's open to lowering tariffs on Chinese imports from 145% to 80% if Treasury Secretary Bessent sees fit. But White House officials cautioned any change depends on the outcome of the talks.
He is not going to unilaterally bring down tariffs on China. We need to see concessions from them as well.
In addition to trade talks with China, the White House says they're in negotiations with close to 24 other trade partners.
President Trump said there are potentially 3 new trade deals he may be announcing at the White House soon.
No settlement deal for the former Milwaukee City Attorney Tierman Spencer. His attorney tells the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel there's 0 chance of a plea deal.
He'll stand trial on October 27th for 1 felony count of misconduct in public office and 1 misdemeanor count of obstructing an officer. He's accused of using his power as a city attorney to prevent the Department of Neighborhood Services from performing inspections and assessments on a property where he stored cars. If convicted, Spencer could face more than 4 years in prison and fines up to $20,000. Sean Brenda, WTMJ News.
An update on Milwaukee's Pizza Hut closures. The Milwaukee Health Department clears 2 of the restaurants to reopen, the locations of 76th and Howard and Farwell and North. The location at 27th and Loomis also received its license and is expected to reopen soon. 3 more locations are waiting on reinspection. MHD closed the restaurants Friday for not having proper food dealer license plates.
Pope Leo XIV's Chicago ties could mean the pontiff will be back in the Midwest in the near future.
He truly realizes that he's the shepherd of a universal church.
Milwaukee Archbishop Jeffrey Grob hasn't met the Pope, but he tells Wisconsin's Morning News he's always known of his work.
Highly respected, highly capable, but also a pastor.
With Pope Leo being a native of Chicago, can Catholics expect him to visit the Midwest anytime soon?
One can only hope, certainly, it's been a lot of years since St. John Paul II made a trek to Chicago, but certainly we keep our fingers crossed, okay?
Eric Bilstead, WTMJ News.
Time for WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. It's a must-win tonight for the Milwaukee Admirals if they want the season to continue. Game 4 of their playoff series with the Rockford Ice Hogs starts at 7 in Rockford. And the Brewers head to the Yankees spring training facility for their first game against the Rays, who are having a new stadium built in Florida. Our coverage starts 5:30 right here on WTMJ.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 3:35.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here for Tri-County Contracting. We talk all the time about Tri-County Contracting, the place to go for roofs and siding, but don't forget, Tri-County Contracting also does windows. Need a new front entry door? Tri-County Contracting, or maybe a patio door that's always jammed. Get your free estimates today. They've been helping homeowners like you for 46 years. Tri-County Contracting, WI.com. It's worry-free roofing, siding, and windows. Tri-County Contracting, WI.com.
Are you worried about running out of money in retirement? Wondering about how to pay less taxes? Join me, Tony Drake, for the Retirement Ready Show, live every Saturday at noon and Sunday at 7 a.m. on WTMJ 620 or 103.3 FM. We'll talk about smart strategies to help you retire with confidence. Don't miss it.
Drake & Associates LLC is an independent investment advisory firm that offers a variety of different investment vehicles. This commercial is provided for informational purposes only and should not be construed as individual investment advice. Drake & Associates LLC does not provide legal or tax advice. Past performance is not indicative of future performance.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on.
There are some crime stories where you walk away going, how could someone be so twisted and even think of something this heinous? We might be getting a clearer picture of the Abundant Life Christian School shooter, Natalie Rupnow, who at just 15 years old went into her Madison school, killed 2 people, Aaron West, a 42-year-old teacher, and 14-year-old student Ruby Vergara, and injured 6 others before taking her own life last year. The shooter's father just appeared in court today via Zoom. We have a photo of it, his head peeking out through a jail cell window. It was odd. Look at that, John. Isn't that weird?
Very odd. He looks creepy.
Yes, his defense attorney said the 42-year-old is saying he's not a wealthy man before bond was set at $20,000. If you want to see the picture of him and his mugshot, you can text WATCH to 855-616-1620. WATCH to 855-616-1620. He's charged with intentionally giving his underage daughter access to guns, which helped her carry out the deadly school shooting last December. The court records take you inside the Rupnow home, where the 15-year-old shooter, Natalie Rupnow, primarily lived with her father. At first, you read in the court records, Jeffrey Rupnow gifted his daughter a pistol, according to court records. She skipped visitation with her mom the weekend before the shooting to go to a gun range with her dad. But her father, Jeffrey Rupnow, had a gun safe. Then later admitted to investigators he gave his daughter the code, which was his social security number backwards in case anything happened to him. The court records then take you inside the shooter's bedroom. Here, investigators say they found all of Natalie Rupnow's plans laid out clear as day, including several photos she had of a 3D cardboard floor plan of Abundant Life Christian School.
Oh, my gosh. So she had it laid out like 3D?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my gosh. That's really detailed.
That's where they discovered the racist manifesto in her room, and she wrote about manipulating her father into purchasing firearms that she would use in this deadly shooting. Detectives also found a blue spiral notebook with handwritten floor plans of the school that she made. Another page on that notebook was titled Small Blueprint, where she was timing out different school shooting scenarios that could be completed within a half hour. And after the school shooting actually took place December 16th of last year, investigators found a stopwatch on the shooter's wrist, and when investigators noticed it, the timer was at 56 minutes and 37 seconds.
Whoa. It was counting.
I know.
Oh, my gosh.
The court records also have victim accounts at the hospital right after the shooting. One child said he was in study hall when he heard a few pops, didn't know what it was. Then Rupnow walked in with a black handgun. He said her face looked calm and angry. And the student says she aimed the gun right at the teacher sitting behind her desk. And that's when he ran to the back of the room, tried to hide behind a beanbag chair, and only looked up after a long silence. He told police when he realized the shooter was down, he ran to get the gun out of her hand and put it in a drawer by the windows of the classroom. He said to make sure no one got hold of it and ran out to help anyone that was hurt.
Oh, my goodness.
We've never heard any of these details before.
Right.
The victim's teacher, 42-year-old Aaron West, was killed, along with his classmate, 14-year-old Ruby Vergara. And then police talk about going to Rupnow's home and couldn't find the father, Jeffrey, because he was at the reunification site thinking his daughter may have been one of the victims. Police eventually caught up with him and say when detectives initially saw the interview, one of the first things he uttered was that when he was driving his truck that day, he began to think as if, did I put my daughter's gun back in the safe the day before? He said he then got distracted when his mom called him. So he said that's according to court records, so that's not good. He said he gifted her a Glock 19 about 6 months before the shooting, that his daughter gave him some of her own money to buy it. He was background checked under his name because she's underage, and he told detectives at the time of the purchase she was in therapy at Psychotherapy Center of Waunakee. So we found out a lot of disturbing connections Natalie Rupnow has had with others planning attacks in their own hometowns. You know about this. Federal agents found that she was talking to other people online, including a 22-year-old Florida man just recently. The Palm Beach County Sheriff said he was set up for war. And a California man who wrote to her about his desire to shoot up a government building. He's now been banned from owning any firearms for the next 3 years under that state's red flag law. And the father told investigators he knew his daughter was on social media like Instagram, but every time he tried to follow her, she blocked him. That's what he told police.
Red flag.
Right. Here's my biggest problem with all of this, what I found in the court records. Just one sentence at the bottom of page 6. It mentions prior contact with Madison police and the father. It says in June of 2022, so about 2.5 years before the shooting, John, officers with the city of Madison police notified Jeffrey Rupnow, the father, of high-risk behavior that his daughter, Natalie, was engaging in via the internet. They went to their house.
So he was warned, and he still purchased a gun for his daughter.
There you go.
That is not good.
And I reached out to Madison police to learn what that threat was online that they specifically saw, because we've seen so much stuff. She even posted her manifesto to her boyfriend, but they have no comment. So I don't know. Apparently, in one of the records, it shows in her room, she wrote down the shooting would be April 11th of this year. So just last month, writing 76 weekends left, but it happened December 16th of last year. So there were signs. Who is ultimately responsible? The district attorney believes it's the father. He faces 18 years behind bars. Mother is not charged. Actually, I noticed in court records that she was charging at her ex-husband in front of officers hours after the shooting took place, yelling, "What did you do? What did you do?" at the father.
Wow, this is incredible detail we haven't heard before. That is disturbing stuff. Sad. It's 3:43 at WTMJ. Debbie's got your roads up next. What's going on inside MPS now? Alan Borsick is with us.
Summer's getting closer, and Brewers action at American Family Field is only heating up. Don't miss a Midwestern throwdown between the Brewers and the Twins, May 16th through the 18th. Get a Jedi Jackson Churio Star Wars night bobble with a special theme night ticket on the 16th. Then get here early for an exclusive Brewers cribbage board giveaway for the first 25,000 fans on the 17th. Presented by 620 WTMJ. Get tickets at brewers.com.
Hey, WTMJ's Steve Scafidi out at Blaine's Farm and Fleet, and this place is packed, and it's not even the big weekend yet. It's the 70th anniversary celebration weekend. All kinds of DIY demonstrations. I just talked to customer Mary today. I would have the same things in my cart. Birdseed is a great deal on a big bag of birdseed for all those cardinals and finches. Twizzlers licorice, are you kidding me? I'm staring at this display. Great deal on that. Trail mix. And you know what the cool thing at the DIY demonstrations? They actually show you how to make trail mix with the ingredients you can buy here at Blaine's Farm and Fleet. This place is awesome. They have everything you need from food to automotive stuff to yard stuff, clothing, boots, shoes. It's an amazing store. I love it because it's only like a mile from my house. This weekend, all kinds of cool stuff, sweepstakes, giveaways. Come on out today, tomorrow, Sunday, any day. Blaine's Farm and Fleet right here on Rawson Avenue, just east of I-94. Celebrate along with their great customers and their great workers. Blaine's Farm and Fleet's 70th anniversary sale this weekend.
Your nose is for breathing. Your mouth is for eating. And if you're breathing through your mouth, it's not because your body wants to. It's because it has to, because your nose isn't working properly. And although you've lived like this, it's no way to live, and it's having a significant impact on your life. I know you know this, and I know that taking action isn't always convenient. But at Advent, we've done all we can to make changing your life for the better as easy as possible. I'm Dr. Madan Kandula. With tens of thousands of our patients, a thorough breathing triangle evaluation, along with a simple 20-minute in-office procedure called balloon sinuplasty, has opened their nasal passages, allowing them to breathe freely through their nose for good. And there's a good chance this procedure can do the same for you. We'll help you breathe through your nose again, and it will change your life.
Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better. Most insurance accepted.
What's up, Wisconsin? WTMJ's John Mercure here. I've got a great idea for your weekend. Hang out with us as we explore our state. We go all around the state, talk to all sorts of cool people, tell you the events that are coming up, how to get there, what to do. We check in all over the place. This week on Experience Wisconsin, it is Hayward Lakes and Road America. Man, Road America is gearing up. This is going to be a fantastic season. It's Experience Wisconsin, Saturdays at 1 p.m. right here on 620 WTMJ. Traffic is sponsored by Tehan Greenhouses in Oak Creek. Buy direct and local for all your garden plants.
Mother's Day is Sunday. Get a beautiful hanging basket or flowering deck planter or a gift certificate for mom from Tehan Greenhouses. Support local and save. Buy direct from Tehan Greenhouses.
Traffic and weather, Debbie Lassica, how are the roads?
Well, we still got those big slowdowns on 41 southbound, delays starting before Good Hope Road, all the way down past crash at Silver Spring on the left shoulder, and it continues heavy all the way down past Capitol Drive. Northbound slowing down before Watertown Plank Road, and that's going to take you all the way up to Silver Spring. Southbound 43 still heavy from before Capitol Drive all the way down through the Marquette and over the High Rise Bridge. Northbound's backed up out of the Marquette to Keefe. And then on eastbound 894, you got your backups coming out of the Hale interchange all the way past 76th Street, back on the brakes from 60th to Loomis. I'm Debbie Laziga with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
Isolated showers are possible late tonight, a low of 49. Tomorrow, showers early, mostly sunny, a bit breezy tomorrow, a high of 72. Sunday, Mother's Day, sunny and mild, a high of 77. Monday, sunny and mild, a high of 80. Inland, 72 at the lake. Tuesday, slight chance of showers, 80 inland, 70 at the lake. So nice.
So I'm so obsessed with these Falcons from We Energies that I have it on taking up my whole screen, and now I can't get anything else on my screen. I can't minimize the picture, and they're feeding the baby birds. The mama is.
Oh,
it's unbelievable.
So sweet.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
It's like ripping something up.
Oh, it's shredding something. Text the word Falcon and you can see it. MPS in the news again this week. The new superintendent says she wants to shrink the central office, wants to move some people into classrooms. 40 employees will be offered classroom positions from the central office. About 140 others will be forced to reapply for their jobs. They may get the jobs, they may not. Alan Borsick, senior fellow at Marquette University, has covered education for a very long time, is with us on WTMJ. Alan, good afternoon.
And how are you?
I'm good. What do you think of this, what I just laid out?
Well, I think the new superintendent, Brenda Casilius, is making a statement that she's willing to take, and I give her credit for this, some fairly bold action, really stepping up to what everyone knows are problems there, which is shrinking the system, making it right-sized, and getting more teachers out into schools. The situation in schools with shortages of teachers, vacancies, people who aren't really the best trained or the best qualified taking classrooms because nobody else is available. These are all really urgent issues, and she's stepping up to do something that hasn't always been so true at MPS, which is to say, tackle the issue.
It kind of is smart on her part. She's just having them reapply for their positions, at least 140. And the ones who stay, though, is this a problem? Could this be a problem ahead? She says will be guaranteed to keep their current salaries with their new jobs for just 1 year.
Well, it certainly could be, and I'll be curious how many, if it ever comes out in public records, how many of these 180 people actually stick around. I think people who work in central office often aren't very eager to get back into schools because it's hard work. And the people who are in central office may not like what she's doing. And I bet she's willing to put up with that because it's not only time for change, but they really, really need change. I mean, they've got so many crucial issues to address, and doing something about central office, which everybody hates. I mean, this is clearly a politically popular thing to say, I'm doing something about central office, but it's also merited.
Alan, you study the school district and have for a very long time. I'm shocked at the sheer number because there are vacancies in central office already. Not everyone literally is being made to apply for their job, and there's still 181.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about structure in school districts, but this seems like a lot of people in central office at a school district. Is it bloated?
Obviously, different people would give you different answers, but I can remember even years ago walking down the corridors in central office, and it's a fairly big building, and I'm sitting there thinking, what do these people do? I really have no idea. There's so many of them, and you don't feel like there's much impact coming out of central office as far as really constructive educational steps. So, and it's gone up and down some. In the 2005 to 10, there was some efforts to shrink the central office. When the next superintendent came in, I remember him telling me we have too few people in central office. And to some degree, that's also been proven because of the decimation of the finance department, for example, which became a whole other scandal a year ago. So, the real issue to me isn't so much how many people are there, but how good are they at what they're doing, and are they doing anything useful, which I'm not sure they answer that. Competence, frankly, is a huge issue in MPS, and and that's true up and down the system. You just kind of say, are these people any good at their jobs? I mean, they're not alone in this. Look at what's happening at some even local big businesses like Kohl's and Harley, and a lot of that is about competence. I think competence is the issue of our times, and MPS is very much part of that.
Wow, and they're also dealing with a lot of other issues, including health issues with lead. Some children have tested positive for lead, elevated lead blood levels. So MPS, I remember the last time we spoke, there was a referendum, and we're talking about all these empty buildings. Now, listen to the Milwaukee Commissioner of Health, Mike Tortoritis. He's talking about completely rebuilding schools because of this lead issue. Here he is on WTMJ last month.
There has been some elevated lead in the water, but our investigation has yielded that confirmed cases have been poisoned through lead paint.
So that sounds like there's some major issues in the structure going even to the pipes. Do you think that some should be rebuilt, even though it's 100 buildings that were built with that lead paint? But do you think that we could afford that?
Well, no, but there are some really old buildings, and they've deteriorated just in the last, let's say 20 years, that there was a time, even into the early 2000s, when MPS buildings were almost hilariously well maintained. You felt like they polished the floor every night, even in buildings that were, even then, well over a century old. And they cut back on staff, they cut back some more, and now we're paying a price for it because the buildings are not well maintained to the point of becoming hazardous, and where building repair issues become urgent. But they have to address that question of whether they want to keep some of these buildings. They've been putting off dealing with proposals for school closings when they have some severely under-enrolled schools and they have a declining overall enrollment. Again, look beyond MPS. Waukesha is talking about closing schools and cutting teachers. Shorewood's in a big controversy. It isn't just an MPS issue. There's declining enrollment. And some districts are really responding to it, and MPS needs to step up to it. The good news is I think the new superintendent perceives it that way and is willing to tackle this.
Alan, with this choice as superintendent and the things that she's facing, are you optimistic? How do you feel about things at MPS?
I think they've got so many crises that it's hard to predict what's going to happen there. You can make a list that's just really formidable: student achievement, enrollment, teacher retention, teacher quality, finance problems, and that's on top of the lead problems, which have dominated the first 2 months for the new superintendent. So I'm not optimistic about the state of the district. I'm optimistic that there's some fresh energy, and maybe that will help. But they've got so many things to tackle that it's almost like the lead crisis is a distraction. It obviously is a crisis that needs to be addressed, but it should never have happened if they'd been maintaining the buildings as they were, and then the focus could be on more important things like educating kids.
Alan Borsuk, Senior Fellow at Marquette University. Alan, thank you so much. We always appreciate your input.
Glad to be here.
Think about, as she tries to lead the district, what the vacancies are. We're talking about central office reapplying. Right now, the district is without a chief operations officer, like the number 2 person in the district. They're without a chief communications officer. They have interim people in the chief human resources position. They have an interim person in the chief school administration officer. They've got a lot of empty top-level positions at MPS, and she comes in, and that's on her list, is to fill those positions as well.
Yikes.
3:56 at WTMJ.
These are your business headlines from the Milwaukee Business Journal.
Former Northwestern Mutual CEO John Schlifsky assumes the chairmanship of Kohl's Corporation. He replaces Michael Bender, who is serving as the company's interim CEO, while the national retailer seeks its next top executive. Molson Coors reports double-digit decreases in sales and earnings in its first quarter. Company executives said overall economic uncertainty is hurting sales as consumers trim spending on beer and other beverages. The city of Wauwatosa releases details in the planned celebration of a giant troll sculpture at Firefly Grove Park. The Thomas Dambo sculpture will be unveiled at an 11 a.m. ribbon-cutting ceremony on May 28th. I'm Linda Spice for MilwaukeeBusinessJournal.com on 620 WTMJ.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station, the pulse of the Milwaukee Bucks, straight from a Bucks legend.
Can't get it off. Marcus Johnson will, though. Can't leave him alone for a 12.
Tap into Here District with Marcus Johnson on Bucks Plus. Marcus and his son Chris offer a weekly beat on Bucks basketball. Get your questions answered and hear from the biggest names in basketball. Find Here District with Marcus Johnson at bucks.com/plus on the Bucks app or wherever you get your podcasts.
John Mercure here for Sit Mean Sit Dog Training. Matt and his teams there are absolutely incredible. I knew I had beautiful dogs. I knew they were fun. They didn't listen good. And I was really kind of worried about how do I get a hold of these dogs and get them to do what they're supposed to do. It ends up the answer was Sit Mean Sit Dog Training. They know what to do. They have the best trainers, the best techniques. They taught me what to do, and my dogs are better behaved. It's Sit Mean Sit Dog Training, some of the best money we've ever spent. You too can have a happy, confident, obedient dog. It is Sit Mean Sit Dog Training.
We didn't write the headline. The Wall Street Journal did. The days of set and forget investing just ended for many Americans. Market shifts, economic uncertainty, and global unrest. It's a wake-up call. No doubt, standard financial advice is to avoid making rash decisions during market turmoil, and we're totally on board with that. But retirement planning isn't a set-it-and-forget-it process anymore. That's where Annex Wealth Management comes in. As fee-only fiduciaries, we craft personalized financial, retirement, estate, and tax plans that adapt as needed and put your goals first always. Already with another firm, but getting the feeling you're lost in the shuffle or they just can't keep up? A second opinion could be the smartest move you could make. If you're managing it yourself, we'll fill in the gaps with professional precision. You work hard to build your future. Don't leave it to chance. Put a pro on your side. Get a proactive plan from a fee-only fiduciary. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Head to annexwealth.com and click the Get Started button.
If you missed this,
Can you talk about how often officers are ending up at schools and how difficult those situations are?
3,100 calls a school year. It was about 17 calls a day.
Or this.
Handpicking the press pool. What are your thoughts on that?
I have many, as you might imagine. I've been in the press pool covering the White House, the greatest privilege of my repertorial life.
Catch up on the Wisconsin's Afternoon News podcast at WTMJ.com, presented by Dave Drakamp Heating.
Stop feeling embarrassed about thinning hair and start looking and feeling your best with Hair Grow by New Nordic. Available online at Amazon, Walmart.com, and NewNordicUSA.com, or at your local CVS.
The place you want to go, Lynch McWanago.
Nobody sells for less than Lynch.
Holtebeck Eye Center in Brookfield. Visit holtebeck.com.
Holtebeck Eye Center in Brookfield makes vision care a top priority. They are your premium provider for eye care and corrective eye surgeries. Learn more at holtebeck.com.
It's time for a getaway to Florida to take on the Rays on the other side of Tampa Bay.
Breaking ball, hammered out to center. Myers back at the track. Wall, bye-bye baseball. Jake Bowers goes deep to center.
Our coverage starts tonight at 5:35 on your home for the Milwaukee Brewers. 620 WTMJ Milwaukee.
It's 4 o'clock. I'm John Mercure. Your top story: can the president change your legal rights?
I'm Julia Fellow. Racist remarks at a track meet.
I'm Debbie Lazago. We've got some delays eastbound 94 from Highway 164 all the way to Springdale Road. And then you're back on the brakes just east of 84th Street all the way through to 35th. Westbound, slowing down from 27th Street all the way through to Mitchell Boulevard. Back on the brakes from 92nd Street all the way almost to Sunny Slope Road. You got southbound 43 backing up from before Capitol Drive all the way down through the Marquette down to about Chase. I'm Debbie Lazago with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
Tonight, clear skies, a low of 49. Tomorrow, sunny, a high of 72 inland, a little cooler along the lake. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, a senior White House aide says the president is actively considering suspending the writ of habeas corpus as judges rule against the administration's mass deportation efforts.
Suspending the writ of habeas corpus would prevent people from being able to challenge their detention in court. Top Trump aide Stephen Miller told reporters the White House is considering it.
It's an option we're actively looking at.
The Constitution says the protection can be suspended in cases of rebellion or invasion. But legal scholars note the clause is in Article 1, which itemizes Congress's powers, not the president's. Abraham Lincoln faced pushback from Chief Justice Roger Taney for suspending the writ of habeas corpus at the outbreak of the Civil War. Lincoln ultimately sought approval from Congress for it. Stephen Portnoy, ABC News, Washington.
We are at hour 18 of an hours-long armed standoff. It continues in the village of Fredonia in Ozaukee County. SWAT teams from Milwaukee and Washington County on the scene right now near a home on Fox Glen Road, where reportedly a man has been inside heavily armed. Dan Harbison lives nearby and tells WTMJ's that authorities been on the scene since just before midnight.
They have 4 drone operators sitting underneath a tent. Last night, like 2:30 in the morning, they threw like a percussion grenade, I think it was, because there was a giant bang. And then about 10 minutes later, there was another one.
Fox Glen, Pheasant Lane, and Partridge Lane all have been closed until further notice.
One person is dead after a morning shooting on Milwaukee's north side. It happened about 9:30 this morning near Green Tree and Darien. A 25-year-old died from injuries at the scene. A 21-year-old woman was arrested. Milwaukee police are still looking for another known suspect.
Track meet tensions in Waterford.
The competition between Rufus King and Waterford Union High School ended early Wednesday after multiple Rufus King athletes and parents say they were targeted with racist taunts. The Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel reports that the slurs and inappropriate stereotypes were directed at students from the moment they arrived, even from the stands and concession workers. Rufus King's coaching staff pulled the team from the meet, citing safety concerns. Waterford Union High School superintendent says they are investigating the incident and the behavior has no place in their community or school. Nizer Spencer, WTMJ News.
Bringing that Hollywood magic to Wisconsin. State Senator Julian Bradley says he has a plan to bring TV and movies back to the Badger State.
It's been years since any major movies were shot in Wisconsin, but Bradley says the incentives bring in big bucks for local communities.
So when you start talking about maybe a $10 million investment, we're looking at $70 million in economic development.
Bradley hopes if his bill gets passed, more productions will come to Wisconsin to film all parts of the state.
There are so many pictures, so many TV shows that could and should be filmed right here in the great state of Wisconsin that we just have to tell everybody, hey, we're open to your business.
Sean Brenda, WTMJ News.
Coming up, it's easy being green if you've done it for this long.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 4:04.
This report is brought to you by Siding Unlimited. It's siding and a whole lot more. Visit sidingunlimited.com.
If you haven't called Siding Unlimited for new windows, what are you waiting for? This is Eric Brown, owner of Siding Unlimited, and I want to share with you a couple stories. Recently, Siding Unlimited installed new windows in a home, and the homeowner loved the experience. Linda W. said, I was extremely satisfied with the service that was provided by Siding Unlimited. I had a new roof and new windows installed in my house. Linda loved that she chose the right company for peace of mind. Loved her windows were warmer and her roof didn't leak. Also loved the colors. Larry, another Siding Unlimited customer, was thrilled with the experience. Larry's home looks brand new. Go to our Siding Unlimited Instagram page and see our pinned message to listen to Larry's testimonial, but also see his house. Again, Siding Unlimited, knocking it out of the park. Looking for new windows, siding, roofing, and doors? Visit the 5-time Pella Platinum Premier National Window Contractor of the Year winner at sidingunlimited.com. Definitely listen to Larry on Instagram at Siding Unlimited LLC.
If you need to hire, it seems like the whole process can be exhausting. You search resumes, wait for the right candidates to apply, set up initial interviews. It's a lot of time and work. Well, what if you could meet with qualified candidates for your job the very next day? Now you can with Zip Intro from ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. Zip Intro is super easy to use. You simply pick a time, and it does all the work of finding and scheduling qualified candidates for you. Then you can choose who you want to talk to and meet with great people on back-to-back video calls as soon as the next day. Best of all, you save time and energy.
Try Zip Intro for free right now at this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/free. Zip Intro. Post jobs today. Talk to qualified candidates tomorrow. Once again, go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 4:06.
An American icon is turning 70.
It's been 70 years since a live-action puppet show called Sam and Friends premiered on local TV in Washington, D.C. Some of its characters may seem familiar.
Well, I'm taking a course in visual thinking. It teaches you how to visualize your thoughts. What?
That was Kermit in a later episode of the show created by then 18-year-old Jim Henson. Not many episodes of the show survived, but it was a springboard for Henson's work at Sesame Street and with the Muppets. Brian Clark, ABC News.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. The Brewers begin a 3-game series against the Tampa Bay Rays tonight in Florida. Coverage begins at 5:30 on WTMJ. The Brewers recall pitcher Brian Hudson and infielder Andrew Monasterio from AAA Nashville. Infielder Vinny Capra has been designated for assignment. Brewers starter Brandon Woodruff will make another rehab start on Sunday for AAA Nashville. Brewers manager Pat Murphy.
To fight through this injury that a lot of pitchers never make it back from, we're just all pulling for him really, really hard. That'll be a great moment.
And the season's on the line tonight for the Milwaukee Admirals, taking on the Rockford Ice Hogs in Game 4 of their playoff series. Ads must win to stay alive. The puck drops at 7 o'clock tonight in Rockford.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 4:08.
Fleet Farm's Garden Center has discounts on hundreds of plants, flowers, vegetables, fertilizers, and more. Like Farm Fresh Selects 10-inch hanging baskets for $17.99. And large bags of Miracle-Gro all-purpose garden soil for just $7.99. Plus, get a 21-inch full-bore 3-in-1 push mower on sale for only $259.99. When it comes to the great outdoors, let Fleet Farm handle all your patio, lawn, and garden needs at the best prices guaranteed.
Connect Chiropractic right now if you're in the area. And Oak Creek, there's an open house going on for Connect Chiropractic. Right now, you can tour the facility, get thousands of dollars in raffle stuff. It's incredible. I was at Connect yesterday. Dr. Austin took care of me, and my back and my neck, which have bothered me in the past, are feeling great. At Connect Chiropractic, it's a long-term care focus on total wellness. They've got that place in Tosa Rigo, Delafield, and the newly opened Oak Creek. Voted Milwaukee's top chiropractor by Milwaukee Journal Sentinel readers. It's my choice. It is Connect Chiropractic.
Wisconsin's afternoon news is on the air, broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue in beautiful downtown Milwaukee. Here are your hosts, John McCure and Julia Fellow.
And the Wisconsin Afternoon News Podcast is sponsored by Dave Drake Camp Heating. Your comfort is your family's tradition. Talk to a young man who is thinking about being a priest, who is in Rome right now. You can hear that by texting the word WAN to 855-616-1620. It's a great interview. All right, Sean Brinda's here. He's been doing a great job covering Milwaukee Public Schools, covering lead, and covering our state legislature. And the Joint Finance Committee, the GOP members slashed 600 policies from Governor Evers' proposed budget. That's a big number. Sean's here with the details. Hey, Sean.
Yeah, that's actually 612 items that were slashed from the biannual proposed state budget yesterday by GOP lawmakers. A majority of those items were proposed by Governor Tony Evers, but the Joint Finance Committee co-chair, Republican State Representative Mark Bourne, said that the policies that were removed were not budgetary in nature.
Folks, I think, have gotten used to now with the way we have to manage Governor Evers' budgets. Unfortunately, he sends us an executive budget that's just piled full of stuff that doesn't make sense and spends too much and spends recklessly and raises taxes and has way too much policy. And so we'll work from base. And the first step of that today is to remove all that policy in the takeout motion and then have a motion to take us to base and then begin the work of rebuilding the budget, the legislative budget for all of Wisconsin.
Of the items that were rejected were proposals that would have invested over $145 million to address forever chemical contamination across Wisconsin, as well as $200 million for lead service line replacements in homes, schools, and communities statewide, and over $6 million in lead poisoning and exposure prevention, especially for kids. Now, as we already know, Milwaukee Public Schools has an ongoing lead crisis. I talked with Democrat State Senator LaTanya Johnson to get her thoughts on the cuts.
We don't want our children to go from questionable housing stock to public schools that will then put them at risk of lead poisoning too. So we can see from the crisis at MPS, school after school are testing positive for lead, with greater number of kids being affected because those schools are, educating hundreds of kids at a time. So removing that was tone deaf, it was inconsiderate, and it puts our children at risk.
Efforts to expand other programs that increase funding to child care providers and expanding the state's earned income tax credit for working families with at least one child was shut down by GOP lawmakers as well. Democrat State Representative Deb Andraka says that she hopes that other policies that help children and working class families aren't really struck down.
Governor Evers said that this is the year of the kid. We're getting a lot of positive responses to that budget. I just hope that we can come together to make sure that what we end up with reflects the needs of everyday Wisconsinites and not just the needs of a few of the Republican donors or their top priorities. We really need a budget that speaks to everyone in the state.
Committee Chair Republican State Senator Howard Markline says that anything that got cut was popular through the public should be passed through regular channels next time.
Well, if they're popular items, then they should be drafting a separate bill, and it should go through the normal legislative process. I mean, I can point to things in the budget bill that we're going to pull off that I like. Milk labeling is something that I like, and we're pulling that out as well. It's a policy. It's got nothing to do with the budget. So again, any of these initiatives, policy initiatives, are best addressed through separate legislation and having those bills go through the normal legislative process.
Now, I reached out to Senator Mark Klein earlier today, and he emailed me back with a statement claiming that the Joint Finance Committee didn't cut anything, and it just went back to the base budget that Governor Evers signed, and they just have done things prior with previous budgets.
Well, they definitely slashed stuff out of there. There's no doubt about it. Great detail. WTMJ Sean Brinda. Thank you, Sean.
No problem.
It is 4:13 at WTMJ. We've got our Everyday Hero up next. How to be safe around motorcyclists, and water-wise gardening with Melinda Myers coming up in about a half an hour. I'm very interested in that as we all start to get out in the yard. Debbie helps get you home. Up next.
For those with a warm weather fashion, try St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores, because that's where you'll find a vast array of men's, women's, girls, and boys' warm weather apparel at the friendliest prices. So many choices, and at such a value. You can fill the closet without draining your wallet. Shop warm weather fashions at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
Otto's Wine and Spirits. Otto's is one of my regular stops on Friday night on my way home. Get the stuff for Friday cocktails. Get the stuff for the weekend. I might swing by the one in Menomonee Falls on my way home tonight. They've been serving Milwaukee since 1945. Otto's Wine and Spirits has the best selection, the best value. They will literally beat any advertised price. So, locally owned, family owned, employee controlled. It's Otto's Wine and Spirits. They've got a great wine club. They've got the best selection on spirits and that beer selection. Yeah, there's no better one in Milwaukee. Make it a stop on this Friday for you. Get your family ready for the weekend. It's Otto's Wine and Spirits.
WTMJ's Vince Vitrano talking with Dr. Mike Nolte at Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Doc, a lot of people are hesitant to visit a surgeon for spine care.
The good news is that the vast majority of patients that I see and the majority of conditions that I can see can be successfully treated without surgery. And I don't want patients to think that just because you're seeing a spine surgeon means that you're going to be signing up for surgery. We talk about, in my clinic, kind of a plan A, a plan B, and a plan C.
Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin, there is a difference. OrthoWisconsin.com.
The very front of the Brewers front office is on Wisconsin's Morning News.
I think it's something sort of our brand of baseball. You know, we're going to play you tough and play hard night in and night out, and we're here and we're going to fight you all 9 innings.
Brewers GM and Senior Vice President Matt Arnold is our Brewers 360 guest every Thursday morning at 8:45.
How soon do I start asking you about trades and stuff, Matt?
My phone's always on, so no.
Brewers 360 is sponsored by Outdoor Living Unlimited and Big Fish Contracting.
Traffic is sponsored by Tehan Greenhouses in Oak Creek, by Direct and Local for all your garden plants.
Mother's Day is Sunday. Get a beautiful hanging basket or flowering deck planter or a gift certificate for mom from Tehan Greenhouses. Support local and save. Buy direct from Tehan Greenhouses.
Traffic and weather. Debbie, how's our Friday ride?
Well, that earlier accident on 41 southbound at Silver Spring looks like the left shoulder is still blocked, but it's now just a disabled vehicle left over. So watch for delays coming in from Good Hope Road all the way down past Capitol, northbound slow from Watertown Plank up to Silver Spring. We've got southbound 43 backing up from Capitol Drive down through the Marquette all the way down past Lincoln. There is an incident off on the right shoulder, right just south of Beecher, so just keep that in mind. Northbound is slowing from the Marquette up to Keith. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
The WTMJ 5-day forecast for tonight, mostly clear skies, a low of 49 degrees. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, a bit breezy, high of 72 inland, 63 along the lake. On Sunday, sunny and mild, a high of 77 inland for your Mother's Day, 66 along the lake, even nice there. On Monday, sunny and mild, a high of 80 inland, 72 along the lake. On Tuesday, partly cloudy, a slight chance for showers, a high of 80 degrees inland, a little cooler along the lake. Going to be a great Mother's Day weekend. Right now, it's sunny and 58 Thanks for hanging out with us on Wisconsin's Afternoon News. Our podcast is sponsored by Dave Drakamp Heating. Your comfort is their family's tradition. Visit DaveDrakamp.com. You can listen to individual segments from the show, the serious interviews, the funny stuff. You can even check it out by the hour. Text the word WAN, W-A-N, to 855-616-1620. Time to recognize on this Friday another everyday hero. Here's WTMJ's Eric Bilstad.
On Wisconsin's Morning News, we identify an everyday hero as an average John or Jane Doe who had no idea when they got up one morning they'd be saving a life. Today we head to the UK. Cardiff, the largest city in Wales. William Newberry and his girlfriend were on their way to see their friend and her brand new baby. Emily Drew is her name, a new mom with a son just 6 days old. When they get there, they're outside when they hear screaming.
And started going towards the house, and I was like, it's a bit strange. Looked through the letterbox and seen Emily and the baby being attacked.
Emily and her baby were being attacked by 3 dogs, 3 bull terriers.
The 3 dogs, one of them was on her foot, one was on her hand, and the other one was going over her to the baby.
Emily tells the BBC she was doing everything she could to keep the baby safe.
When it first happened, I had my 6-day-old baby in my arms. I did what I can to protect him. He got away luckily with minor scratches. It went on for quite a while.
So William tries to get in, but the door's locked. He's banging on it, trying to get through.
I can't get in the house. Emily and the baby's being attacked by the dogs. There's blood everywhere.
So he looks around and decides, you know what? Going through a window. So they find a window there on the first floor that's unlocked. They were able to open it up. He climbs through, grabs the baby, hands the baby to his girlfriend.
And then we both helped get Emily out the window after the baby. One of the dogs tried following her out. I shut the window, and I was stuck in there then with the dogs.
Stuck inside with those dogs, all 3 of them going after William. He fended them off for about 20 minutes before help arrived. He calls the whole situation a nightmare. Spent a week in the hospital, 15 stitches on his hand, his forearms bit up, other parts of his body as well. Almost lost some digits.
On Friday, I found out we could keep the finger. The doctor's happy enough.
Emily, also injured. She was using crutches during her interviews. She tells the BBC William saved 2 lives that day. He needs to remember that my son has a true hero. You can see the interview. Just text the word HERO to the Decided Unlimited WTMJ Talk and Text line 855-616-1620. Thank you, William, for being an everyday hero. Eric Bilstad, WTMJ News.
Yeah, I love when we salute our heroes. That's such a fun, cool thing. It is 4:20 at WTMJ. Hope you're having a great Friday. We're out of here at 5:30, by the way. Brewers baseball in Florida.
Wow.
It's kind of crazy because the Rays are having a new stadium built, so they're playing at the Yankees spring training facility, not even a major league ballpark.
John.
Yeah, it's kind of fun. So Brew Crew in action coverage here begins at 5:30 on WTMJ.
Summer's getting closer, and Brewers action at American Family Field is only heating up. Don't miss a Midwestern throwdown between the Brewers and the Twins, May 16th through the 18th. Get a Jedi Jack Centurio Star Wars night bobble with a special theme night ticket on the 16th. Then get here early for an exclusive Brewers cribbage board giveaway for the first 25,000 fans on the 17th. Presented by 620 WTMJ. Get tickets at brewers.com.
AccuNet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
Flimsy, feeble, flaccid. That's how you can describe most pre-approval letters these days because most banks still issue pre-approval letters without actually verifying your income, employment, or down payment. That's the exact opposite of an AccuNet rock-solid, fully verified and guaranteed pre-approval, where we put a $2,000 guarantee behind the fact the seller can actually rely on the terms of your pre-approval and offer. With AccuNet, there's also a possibility of issuing a property-specific pre-approval with as little as a 10% down payment that includes the magic words, no appraisal required. That's right, AccuNet may be able to issue your pre-approval without needing an appraisal. That's the kind of certainty that can help a seller say yes to your offer. Sure, you can try competing with a flimsy bank pre-approval, or you can click on the blue button at AccuNet.com and get started with the pre-approval listing agents and sellers recognized as the best in the business. That's ACCUNET.com.
John Mercure here for Colders. I love Colders. They're absolutely fantastic. They've got the best selection, the greatest furniture, incredible showrooms. Get into one of their stores today. They are local at Colders, and I love that. Did you know that Colders offers a lifetime delivery membership? 2 weeks ago, I purchased a Gold Tier LTD membership. I have it. That means I get free delivery for life on furniture, appliances, and mattresses. You know the stuff in your kitchen's going to go out eventually, right? I mean, it's built to last like 7 or 8 years. Hard to believe. But you're going to need to replace it. New furniture. You're going to need a new mattress eventually. Get the lifetime membership delivery. It doesn't cost almost anything. And you also have access, I should say, to really cool sales. If you have this, you get the only sales that are available to this membership. It's free delivery for life. Check it out. I know I'm a free delivery guy. Sales team at Colders is the best in the industry. They've got 4 locations. We shopped at Delafield. It's absolutely gorgeous. Selection is great. The team is awesome, and their lifetime delivery membership is a no-brainer. It is Colders. Check out your local Colders.
70 years ago, the Blaine brothers founded Blaine's Farm and Fleet as one of the nation's first retail stores to sell goods at a discount. And we've helped supply Midwest farms and families with quality products at unbeatable prices ever since. Like Krylon Farm and Implement Paint, 15% off. Sakrete Blacktop Repair and Patch products starting at $10.99. 16 packs of Blaine's brand AA or AAA batteries, $7.99. Plus, we've lowered our prices throughout the store. Blaine's Farm and Fleet. Be an original.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on WTMJ.
Now that the weather has finally turned the corner towards warmer days and nicer conditions, May is Motorcycle Safety Awareness Month, and this month's Driver's Ed with Deb. D-Law is shining a light on what we can all do to keep everyone out there safe.
The birds are out, the trees are starting to bloom, Gesundheit, and the temps are starting to turn spring-like. You know what else is out there? Yep. The bikes are out again, and they're asking other drivers for a favor.
Motorcyclists can disappear in a car's blind spot really quickly. So anytime a driver is about to change lanes or merge or maybe even like make a turn, just please double check your blind spot. So check those mirrors, actually turn your head and look. Don't just rely on your blind spot detectors. A lot of cars have those these days. Sometimes those detectors don't pick up motorcyclists because we have a much smaller profile.
Motorcycle Safety Foundation's writer and coach Andrea Yu says basically being aware of your surroundings is important no matter what you're driving. Also, common sense things like not driving distracted makes a huge difference.
Sometimes we see an alert on our phone or something, we take our eyes off the roads just for a few seconds. But if you're driving at like 65 miles per hour, you can cover over 100 feet in 1 second. So even if you take your eyes off for like 3, 4, 5 seconds, you cover more than the length of a football field, and a lot can happen in that time.
And something I never thought of, motorcycles are obviously smaller than cars, so they can move around in their lane.
I've done that just to like avoid a pothole, or sometimes I might be on the left side of the lane a little more and then I might move to the right side, but I'm trying to make sure that people can see me, so I might just move positions to make sure that the traffic, other drivers and motorists will see where I am.
It's not because she wants to show off or anything, she's just trying to stay visible to the drivers. And as far as what motorcyclists can do to stay safe,
we encourage everyone to follow the rules of the road. Don't be stunting out there. There's a time and place for everything, but when you're on public roads, we want to make sure everyone is safe.
Not sure what those are? No problem. They've got you covered.
The best way to do it is to take a safety course. So you can go to the Motorcycle Safety Foundation. You can find the Motorcycle Safety Foundation Basic Rider course. It teaches you smart street skills, safety tips, and also the foundational basics that you need to control and ride a motorcycle.
You can also check out the area riding schools. Most Harley dealerships have information about them, too. Motorcyclists are obviously more vulnerable than drivers in cars. If you're in a car, you have the body around you as at least some protection. Bikers don't have that, so being extra careful around them is important.
Let's just all be courteous to each other because we really want to keep everyone safe. So a little courtesy goes a long way.
Motorcycles are part of Milwaukee DNA. We know them, we love them, so we got to protect them. So keep your head on a swivel and let's watch out for everyone on the roads. Debbie Lazaga, WTMJ News.
All right, it is 4:27 at WTMJ. Let's check how those markets did today. Kind of a quiet week and not a lot of activity today either. The NASDAQ was up 1 point. The Dow bounced around all day and did end up down 119 points. The S&P 500 was down 4 points on the day. It's financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. All your details at annexwealth.com. Know the difference with Annex.
Not so fun fact. A recent study showed that only 40% of managers have annual check-ins with their direct reports. Not good, especially when today's younger workers crave development and growth. But the LAK Group has a new tool called Coaching on Demand. This cutting-edge platform connects leaders and professionals with certified coaches and seamlessly integrates AI into their development journey, all on their schedule. Learn more at transformingcareers.com. LAK, discover your human advantage.
It's here on consignment from over 10,000 nationwide partners. From very high-end distinctive furniture, unique antiques and original art, to tasteful home decor that can fit almost any budget. Premium home decor priced right at 25 to 40% off retail prices. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor at a value. Design Exchange in Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
Smart interior designers know that what they'll see here is going to be almost impossible to find anywhere else, especially at our consignment prices. Premium home decor that's gently loved and close to new. And what we carry can raise the wow factor of anyone's home decor. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor at a value. Design Exchange in Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
I'm here to help. This is your WTMJ Fix-It Show host, David Nason, with expert advice for our listeners. If you're dealing with leaks, stains, or cracks in your basement, it's time to call my trusted friends at Accurate Basement Repair. And you know what? You'll get a free expert evaluation on me. You just tell them David Nason, the Fix-It guy, told me to call. Don't let basement issues mess up your home. Trust Accurate Basement Repair to get the job done right. And again, that's Accurate Basement Repair, 414-744-6900 or AccurateBasementRepair.com.
Traffic is sponsored by the Heiser Automotive Group. Come in and make that deal. Visit Heiser Automotive Group with 4 convenient locations or online at Heiser.com. Ford, Chevy, Toyota, Lincoln, and Cadillac. Today's your day.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on Wisconsin's radio station, News Radio WTMJ.
It's 4:30. I'm John Mercure. Your top story. Can the U.S. and China come to an agreement on trade?
I'm Julia Fellow, naming the man arrested by ICE.
I'm Debbie Lazaga. Northbound on 4394, just north of National Avenue, we've got the right lane blocked with a broken down truck, so watch out for that. On the southbound side, we got delays coming down from Capitol Drive all the way through the Marquette down to the KK River Crossing, and eastbound 94. Watch for delays from the Zoo all the way to 35th Street. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
Isolated showers possible late at low 49. Tomorrow, a bit breezy. Wind gusts up to 25 miles an hour, 72 inland. Right now, it's 56 degrees and sunny in Milwaukee.
From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, trade talks are getting underway in Switzerland this weekend between U.S. and Chinese officials.
The talks began against the backdrop of President Trump's posting on Truth Social, where he floated cutting trade tariffs against China to 80%. But White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt says that's just part of the equation.
We need to see concessions from them as well.
Presently, tariffs against China stand at 145%, but Leavitt says she expects there will be some movement.
China needs the United States of America. They need our markets. They need our consumer base.
These will be the first major talks between the world's 2 largest economies since the president's Liberation Day tariff announcement. Lindy Kenyon, CBS News, the White House.
An armed standoff continues in the village of Fredonia. We're hitting hour 19. SWAT teams from Milwaukee and Washington County now on scene near the home on Fox Glen Road, where a man has been inside heavily armed. Here's Dan Harbison, who lives nearby, saying authorities have been on scene just before midnight.
They have 4 drone operators sitting underneath a tent. Last night, like 2:30 in the morning, they threw like a percussion grenade, I think it was, because there was a giant bang. And then about 10 minutes later, there was another one.
Fox Glen, Pheasant Lane, and Partridge Lane have all been closed until further notice.
The case of the father of the Abundant Life Christian School shooter is moving forward. 42-year-old Jeffrey Rupp now faces 3 felonies. The Dane County District Attorney acknowledging that while there were multiple victims in the case,
but the defendant, Mr. Rupp, now was not the actual shooter.
Mr. Ruppnow does not have criminal history. Mr. Ruppnow has ties to our community. Mr. Ruppnow purchased the firearms legally. But Mr. Ruppnow, in providing the firearms to a minor child, was responsible for the minor's actions with firearms.
Ruppnow is due back in court on June 9th.
Jury selection must go on in the trial of hip-hop mogul Sean Diddy Combs, who faces federal sex crime charges. The biggest concern, jurors dropping out over the weekend. News Nation's Laura Ingle.
What today was about jury selection. We thought we were going to have an impaneled jury by the end of the day. 2 jurors are now out of that whittled down pool. Remember, we had the 150, then it was 45. Now we're down to 43. One juror got cold feet, said, I don't think I can do this. The other one apparently lied on the questionnaire. They were asked if they were in any way, shape, or form taking part in any litigation with the city of New York. The first answer was no. Turns out the answer is yes. That person's out.
The trial is expected to last 2 months.
We now know the identity of the man arrested by ICE at the Milwaukee County Courthouse. 36-year-old Kevin Lopez is a Mexican citizen arrested on May 7th and facing charges for sexual assault of 2 people, including a minor. ICE agents from Chicago posting that Lopez was previously arrested for marijuana possession. He's the co-owner of Judy's Cantina on Milwaukee's east side. This is at least the 4th time that ICE has apprehended someone at the courthouse in just over a month.
State Republicans have slashed more than 600 items for Governor Tony Evers' proposed budget. State Senator Howard Markline says the cuts targeted policies that were not budgetary in nature.
Well, if they're popular items, then they should be drafting a separate bill, and it should go through the normal legislative process. I mean, I can point to things in the budget bill that we're going to pull off that I like. Milk labeling is something that I like, and we're pulling that out as well. It's a policy. It's got nothing to do with the budget.
State Representative Tip McGuire says the state Republicans are cherry-picking the policies.
It's interesting that they didn't take out all the policy items then, right? They were very deliberate on what they took out of this budget. And they can always throw that oh, well, you can just pass an independent bill, but what is the system that they're using to choose between what items stay and which ones go?
Those removed include Medicaid expansion, increased funds for child care providers, and marijuana legalization. The deadline to pass the state budget is July 1st.
Air traffic controllers at Newark Airport briefly lost radar access again. Radar at the facility in Philadelphia that directs planes in and out of Newark went black for 90 seconds early this morning. Similar to what happened on April 28th, that first radar outage led to hundreds of flights being canceled or delayed.
From Chicago to the Vatican, we're talking about Pope Leo XIV. Milwaukee Archbishop Jeffrey Grob tells WTMJ.
He's approachable. He's not some kind of relic that's locked away in a cabinet somewhere in the halls of the Vatican. I mean, I think it's symbolic of what our church is in need of more so now than ever.
Archbishop Grob says he is hopeful the Pope will make a visit to the U.S. The last papal visit to the United States was Pope Francis in Washington, D.C., back in 2015.
3 peregrine falcon chicks have hatched at the We Energies power plant in Oak Creek to parents Essity and Joel. The couple welcomed 2 chicks last week. Over 450 peregrine falcons have hatched at We Energies and power facilities since the program started in the 1990s.
Time for a WTMJ Sports update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. A must-win tonight for the Milwaukee Admirals if they want the season to continue. Game 4 of their playoff series with the Rockford Ice Hogs starts at 7 in Rockford. And Brewers take on the Tampa Bay Rays tonight from Yankees spring training location in Florida. Our coverage starts at 5:30 right here on WTMJ.
Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time, 4:36.
Fleet Farms Garden Center has discounts on hundreds of plants, flowers, vegetables, fertilizers, and more. Like Farm Fresh Selects 10-inch hanging baskets for $17.99. And large bags of Miracle-Gro all-purpose garden soil for just $7.99. Plus, get a 21-inch full-bore 3-in-1 push mower on sale for only $259.99. When it comes to the great outdoors, let Fleet Farm handle all your patio, lawn, and garden needs at the best prices guaranteed.
Public service, courage, bravery, sacrifice. These are terms used to describe those who work in public safety who go above and beyond each and every day of their lives. If you have a police officer, dispatcher, fire professional, or an emergency nurse who impacted your life, in May we'll honor the best examples of paying it forward, sharing the tremendous stories of these local heroes. Nominate your local hero at WTMJ.com. Click on the Salute to Service banner at the top, or by texting SALUTE to the Siding Unlimited talk and text line.
It's Steve Scaffidi's Salute to Service, presented by Waterstone Bank. Wisconsin's Afternoon News on WTMJ.
All right, happy Friday. A months-long saga ends on Milwaukee's lakefront. A high-profile arrest in Madison and white smoke in the Vatican. It's a week in review brought to you by Outdoor Living Unlimited.
What we do here is go back.
Developing story out of Racine overnight. A man shot dead by police after a brief chase.
The man was wanted in connection to a violent domestic abuse assault earlier in the day.
Microsoft is hanging up on Skype.
Westside Academy students are officially relocating to Douglas Middle School as of today. The move is a part of MPS's Let Action Plan.
Money can't be more valuable than the lives of our children.
A shakeup for MPS, perhaps?
181 staff positions affected by an effort to streamline that central office.
Today's the day! The process is underway to remove the abandoned boat from Lake Michigan.
Multiple tow trucks with heavy-duty winches hard at work, dead set on removing deep thought.
Safety first today. We don't want to hurt anyone on the rocks.
I still think it's really cool how so many people have kind of added their own little personal touches to it.
I've been having some early morning lake dips by the boat.
People from all walks of life are here to see the boat.
Today is a big day for Milwaukee County.
People could sit back and remember our tumultuous winter and the 3-hour tour boat that lasted 7 months.
As far as its presence on the Milwaukee shore, that chapter of Deep Thought Saga has come to a close.
Today, I'm officially announcing my run to serve as the next governor of our great state of Wisconsin.
From Washington County, County Executive Josh Shulman.
No matter how hard it gets, and it will get hard, it'll be easier than the months spent in Kuwait and Iraq, so there's that.
President Trump continued his push to make Canada part of the U.S., a point of contention going into his meeting with newly elected Prime Minister Mark Carney.
Well, I still believe that, but you know, takes two to tango, right?
It's not for sale, won't be for sale, ever.
I'm not your buddy, friend. He's not your friend, guy.
My family is in more danger now with me being a member of Congress than they were when I was hunting and killing terrorists.
That's retired Navy SEAL and current U.S. Congressman Derek Van Orden talking on Wisconsin's Afternoon News about a letter sent to his Washington, D.C. office threatening the lives of his family.
The specificity of this was something that we haven't seen before.
Nikita Kasap, the teenager charged with killing his mother and stepfather as part of a presidential assassination plot, pleads not guilty to 10 felony counts.
Pleas of not guilty were entered upon review of the information by the defense.
Happening right now, the United States and Britain announced a trade deal that will lower the burden of President Trump's sweeping tariffs.
This is a really fantastic, historic day in which we can announce this deal between our two great countries.
The father of Abundant Life Christian School shooter in Madison is now arrested.
These firearms were purchased legally at stores here in Dane County. They were purchased by the shooter's father, Jeffrey Ruppnow. Multiple other weapons were recovered during a search of the home. All of these weapons, including one that was about to be gifted to the same teen, were purchased legally.
601 is en route at the command post.
An armed confrontation with a person who's closed himself inside a home, Fox Glen Road in the village of Fredonia.
The Ozaukee County Sheriff's Office says he is heavily armed with firearms. At one point, they cut power to this entire neighborhood of about a couple of dozen homes or so.
They threw like a percussion grenade, I think it was, because there was a giant bang. And then about 10 minutes later, there was another one.
Oh, wait. That's black, right?
I can't tell if it's black or it looks white to me. Is it white smoke?
It doesn't look black.
Oh,
and people are cheering.
So we have a.
It looks like white smoke.
Habemus Papam.
Robert Francis Prevost of the United States, 69 years old, born in Chicago, has been named the next pope.
To the ministry of Peter, you have called me to carry that cross and to be blessed with that mission.
Milwaukee worshipers at the Basilica of St. Joseph at noon Mass left church feeling surprised. It was an American who grew up on Chicago's South Side.
That's fantastic.
To hear that we have the first American Pope is crazy.
The new Pope is from Chicago, which means...
And now, representing Chicago, Illinois, standing 5 feet 10 inches tall, your pontiff, your holiness.
What are we, gay? I think people are lazy.
I'd like to be Pope.
He was never, ever a Cubs fan.
Ladies and gentlemen, the weekend.
All right, the Weekend Review is brought to you by Outdoor Living Unlimited. It's that time of year. Don't plant yet. It still could get cool at night, but it's that time of year. And what do you do with managing the water on your property? I never know how much water is enough water. Melinda Myers, the plant doctor, has all the answers. She's with us in the studio up next.
What do your favorite vacation, investment portfolio, and backyard all have in common? The perfect theme for your next call to Outdoor Living Unlimited for a new dream backyard. Outdoor Living Unlimited can bring your best vacation to your backyard and show you what a worthwhile investment back into your own property can look like. New deck, outdoor kitchen, screen room, and a must-see automated pergola? Let Outdoor Living Unlimited design your new space, build your new space, and you can relax in style at home. Find us at OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com.
John Mercure here for Annex Wealth Management. Let's be real. When it comes to your investments in retirement, getting it right isn't just a nice to have. It's really essential. Maybe you're a DIY investor, or maybe you're realizing your current advisor isn't quite cutting it. Either way, it's time to consider putting your planning in the hands of Annex Wealth Management. So here's the deal. Annex is a fee-only fiduciary all the time. That means their focus is solely on you, not on commissions. You've worked hard, you've saved smart, and invested with purpose. Annex will partner with you to build a personalized plan, a roadmap to the retirement that you've envisioned. They offer financial planning tailored to your needs, Annex Comprehensive Wealth for a complete strategy, Annex Private Client for high net worth individuals and families, and Annex Ignite for a focus boost. Don't settle for good enough. Know the difference between advisors. Take the first step at AnnexWealth.com and click the Get Started button. Your partner in financial clarity is Annex Wealth Management. They've got locations throughout southeast Wisconsin, northern Illinois, Florida, or always as close as your computer. Money Talk, the Annex Wealth Management Show, Saturdays 10 a.m. on WTMJ. Know the difference with the company I trust, Annex.
UW-Madison is one of the country's leading hubs for supporting life-changing research and building a skilled workforce. An investment in UW-Madison helps make a healthier Wisconsin, build strong businesses, and win the war for workforce talent, not just at Madison, but across our entire state. Visit uwalumni.com/UW5 to tell your legislators to support UW-Madison in the Wisconsin state budget. That's uwalumni.com/UW5. Paid for by the Wisconsin Alumni Association.
It started with a prediction.
We'll go out there and play basketball and win.
And how many games?
6.
It became the culture.
Chance of Bucks in 6.
Being a Bucks fan means you live and breathe Bucks in 6. Brandon Jennings created the prophecy. Tune into Behind the Bucks, the story of Brandon Jennings on the Bucks Plus audio network. Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Available now on Bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and streaming wherever you get your podcasts.
That's for the culture. Wisconsin is as hard-working of a place as you'll ever find. There's a sense of pride, community, and work ethic that's second to none. People here are tough, but even the toughest among us need help after a serious accident. At Gruber Law Offices, we won't stop fighting for you and your family. We've been here and will continue to be here for as long as you need us. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Traffic is sponsored by Angela Calais and Benefit Realty. At Benefit Realty, pay only 3.5 to 3.9% real estate commission and get all the service that you should. Benefit Realty, you pay less for full service. Benefit-realty.com.
Traffic and then weather. Debbie Lazica, how are the roads right now?
Well, a little bit backed up along southbound 43. You're starting to see the slowdowns from around Keefe all the way down through the Marquette to the KK River crossing. Northbound, we've got delays from the KK River all the way up to the High-Rise Bridge. Back on the brakes from Kilbourne up to Keefe. Eastbound 94, we got backups from just before Highway 164 all the way to about Springdale Road. Back on the brakes then from about 92nd Street all the way to 35th. Westbound, a little tight right through the Stadium interchange, and then you slow down from 92nd all the way to Elm Grove Road with more delays past Moreland Road as well. I'm Debbie Lazigo with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
Here is your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Isolated showers are possible late tonight, a low of 49. Tomorrow, a bit breezy. It'll be 72 degrees. Sunny on your Mother's Day and mild. 66 at the lake will be your high, 77 inland. Monday, it'll be sunny again, 80 inland, 72 at the lake. Tuesday, a slight chance of showers, 70 at the lake, 80 degrees inland. Right now in Milwaukee, it's 57 degrees and sunny.
All right, time to bring in our friend, the plant doctor. She is Melinda Myers, as we all are so anxious to get into the nursery, get into the store and buy our plants and all our stuff and get out in the yard. Melinda, it's so good to have you here. Thank you.
Always a pleasure. And on a sunny day, you're right. We're all anxious. We're ready to have spring through and summer here, and our garden's beautiful and planted.
Okay, I want the plant doctor's take on this.
Okay.
No mow May. It does have water conservation. Do we support this or do we not like this?
So if you want a beautiful lawn, no mow May is not for you because you're letting it grow tall and then you're trying to bring it back down. So if you want a beautiful lawn, the better thing to do is, and you want to support pollinators, make bigger gardens. If you have a grow and mow strategy, which means whatever grows, you're going to mow it and you're fine, then the no mow May works very well. And you need to inform your neighbors, too, and check your community to make sure they don't think you've left town for good.
It looks crazy in Shorewood, everything. My dog is trampling through prairie.
It's disgusting. I can't stand it. It looks untidy.
Lots of dandelions.
Yeah, and you're right. If that's your neighbor, that's really inconsiderate.
But the butterflies love it, and the bees.
But we can have plants instead that the butterflies and bees like.
Less lawn, more garden. So if you really want to support, because that's really the trade-off. If you want a nice lawn, especially if you use chemicals, you're killing all the plants that the pollinators need. So you might as well give it up on no mow May. But, more gardens, less grass, mow high. Even the thing they're finding is if you mow 6 inches high, you're going to let a lot of those low-growing flowers that the pollinators want will bloom. And then they can come in and nectar, and then you're only reducing the height a couple inches. So, there are some people saying, let's call it high mow May, and then that way you have a little bit less stress on your lawn, still support the pollinators.
Oh my gosh, remember Honey, I Shrunk the Kids?
Yes.
When the mower came out?
Yes.
And then the ants were all...
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Hey, let's talk watering, because I think as people do buy their stuff in the next couple of weeks, they put it either in the ground or out on their deck. They're wondering, Melinda, proper watering techniques. How do we know the right amount, when to conserve, all that stuff?
That is one of the strategies. I think it's the biggest mistake we all make, and the thing that generates a lot of fear in gardeners. How often? Everybody goes, how often should I water? I'm like, it depends, and nobody wants that answer. So in a pot, check it daily. If it's really hot outside and you pack that container full of plants, you're going to water very often. Tiny pot, you may have to water a couple times a day. Midsummer, when the temperatures rise. In the ground, feel the soil. And I know that, after a while you get to know your plants. But just dig down, take a trowel, go down a few inches. If it's crumbly and slightly moist, just starting to dry, you need to water. New plants, you want to keep that soil moist right around there to encourage those roots to develop. Then eventually, after a few weeks, a good soaking once every 4 days and once every 5 days and once a week. Our goal is to really generate a big, robust root system that can get water from a much larger area. Better for the plants, better for us.
Yep. What about mulch? How important is mulching in the equation?
I'm a huge fan, and I like organic mulches. If you've got fall leaves, save those. Don't rake them to the curb. They make an excellent mulch. Shredded bark, wood chips, it conserves moisture, suppresses weeds. As it breaks down, it improves the soil. And adding more organic matter to your soil helps it absorb moisture. So when we have those heavy rains, more goes into the soil, less runs off. And it also helps conserve the moisture, adds nutrients. And so you're helping the plants, improving the soil. Most of us have lousy soil to start with, and it takes years to build good quality soil.
What are some drought-tolerant plants?
That's another good thing to do. If you're going to be gone a lot or, you want to minimize your maintenance, zinnias, they've made a big comeback, and there's so many that are disease-resistant, great for cutting, great for pollinators. Lantana. If we were down south, I'd tell you be careful because it's invasive and it grows like a bush. But up here, it's an annual. Drought-tolerant butterflies love it. It's great. You can do Angelonia, sometimes called summer snapdragon.
Mm-hmm.
Great vertical accent in containers in the gardens. Lots of new varieties, whites and pinks and purples. Lots of colors available. Biden's is a trailing plant, very heat and drought tolerant as well. Of course, succulents, if you really want to go low water need, succulents are a good choice, and they're great in containers outside.
What about a rain garden?
Rain gardens are excellent, and there's a big movement to really try to capture rainfall. And you need to amend the soil. It's not just dig a hole and put a plant in. With any gardening, you should fix the soil. plants that tolerate flooding and drought, because you don't want to be watering your rain garden during the midst of summer. And then design it away from your house, at least 10 feet if possible. We don't need more water by the foundation.
Yep.
Right.
On a gentle slope, so you don't have to dig as deeply. And again, designing it like you would a garden. You know, they can be ugly if they're not planned, but so can any garden. So right plant, right location. Look for those that aren't overly aggressive if you don't have space. There are lots of native plants that really give us blooms at different time, that really work well in rain gardens, and that are beautiful and help support pollinators and songbirds too. So that's that added benefit. And you're keeping water on your property so it doesn't overflow the storm sewers.
What about rain barrels?
Rain barrels are excellent. Disconnect your downspout. I do it one at a time just to get used to it. And then you can hide them with plantings, maybe a little lattice around it if you don't like it. Make it convenient. It should have a spout that's low on the barrel so you don't have a lot of stagnant water, an overflow, because you can collect 623 gallons of water from 1,000 square foot of roof in a 1-inch rain.
Wow.
That's a lot of water.
That is.
There's a cool
survival
gardener.
information.
Exactly. There's a great gardener in Wauwatosa. I visited her house on a garden tour, Kelly, and she put all her rain barrels, she took water off her garage, in that space between the garage and her neighbor's fence,
Yeah.
you know, that 3 feet that grows nothing but weeds. So she interlocked barrels, ran 2 downspouts so she could run the water, overflow to the next one, empty it on the outside of the barrels, the outside barrels. And so she used a space that no one had to look at that otherwise would be worthless, really, from a garden standpoint, and made it very functional.
That is so cool. You helped me solve a problem last fall that you probably don't even remember, but I had snow on the mountain in my main beds in front, which I love the main beds. Had a little snow on the mountain. After 10 years, it had taken over, Melinda, every single thing. So we took it all out, and that was very difficult. And we took it out by the roots as much as we could, and I planted it behind my house. Between where my house ends, there's heavy woods back there, and it's heavily shaded. I had a hard time growing anything back there, and it's almost like we never walk on that part of the yard. It goes into the woods. I planted all the snow on the mountain there. Now I look out, it's coming in, and it's absolutely beautiful, and I don't care if it goes into the woods where we never, ever, ever hang out. Invasive stuff,
That's so cool, John.
It's really cool. I'll send you guys pictures. How do you know if something's invasive, and how do you know if you need to get it out of your bed?
So invasive versus aggressive. Aggressive are the bullies in the garden. They're the ones that take over, right? And they crowd out the other plants, but they don't leave your landscape. Invasive plants are ones that not only crowd out the good plants, but then they go into the woods, the wetland, those areas, and then they displace the native plants that the birds and the beneficial insects and the wildlife depend upon. And so those become invasive. We did a webinar, and the recording's still available. You can go to my website on invasive plants and ways to manage them, because it can be overwhelming. I'm fighting crown vetch, buckthorn, and honeysuckle on my product.
I have a lot of buckthorn, too.
And it can be very overwhelming, right? You look out there and you're like,
Yep.
And the crown vetch, I don't know where it came from, but I got a lot of it. So just ways to help find ways to get a start on it, start managing it, and work your way through to get it under control.
Okay, here's your best resource. If you want any of this sort of information, if you want to register for Melinda's free webinar, which is coming up on the 15th, so that's less than a week, 7 steps to managing water on your property. You can buy cool books. I have Melinda's books. All of that at melindamyers.com. It's Melinda Myers is MYERS. melindamyers.com. Check out the webinar. Check out all the resources. It's really great stuff.
Well, thanks.
Melinda Myers is the plant doctor. Thank you so much, Melinda, for being with us.
Always a pleasure.
melindamyers.com.
These are your business headlines from the Milwaukee Business Journal.
Former Northwestern Mutual CEO John Schlifsky assumes the chairmanship of Kohl's Corporation. He replaces Michael Bender, who is serving as the company's interim CEO, while the national retailer seeks its next top executive. Molson Coors reports double-digit decreases in sales and earnings in its first quarter. Company executives said overall economic uncertainty is hurting sales as consumers trim spending on beer and other beverages. The city of Wauwatosa releases details in the planned celebration of a giant troll sculpture at Firefly Grove Park. The Thomas Dambo sculpture will be unveiled at an 11 a.m. ribbon-cutting ceremony on May 28th. I'm Linda Spice for MilwaukeeBusinessJournal.com on 620 WTMJ.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee. From the Annex Wealth Management Studios, this is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
This report is sponsored by the Pfister Hotel. Make your reservations today. Visit thepfisterhotel.com.
For over 130 years, the Pfister Hotel in downtown Milwaukee has been delighting guests with impeccable service, luxurious accommodations, and extraordinary events. This spring, come together and celebrate with loved ones in the hotel's newly renovated and distinguished grand ballroom. Experience a time-honored tradition, create exceptional memories, and show appreciation with a sensational Mother's Day brunch. Celebrate Mom this spring at the Pfister Hotel. Make your reservations today at thepfisterhotel.com.
Join Trees on the Move this weekend from 9 to 4 for our annual Mother's Day sale with savings up to 30% on selected nursery stock. Maples, linden, birch, ornamental trees, flowering crab, and all varieties of evergreens. There's over 20,000 trees to choose from. Our landscape architects will be on hand to answer all of your patio, retaining wall, and backyard questions. Call 262-679-5200 for more info or see treesonthemove.com.
From planning to planting, Trees on the Move.
Ready for more fun? More friendships? More adventures?
Then it's time to become a Girl Scout.
Explore the outdoors, meet forever friends, and make a difference in your community. Sign up for our extended year membership today. Girls can join for $98 and adults for $42. Start in April and enjoy up to 5 extra months of fun. The extended year membership is April 1st, 2025 to September 30th, 2026, followed by a regular membership year. So what are you waiting for?
Join us and be a Girl Scout.
Stop feeling embarrassed about thinning hair and start looking and feeling your best with Hair Grow by New Nordic. Available online at Amazon, Walmart.com, and NewNordicUSA.com, or at your local CVS.
Spring showers bring us flowers, but all those pretty colors can also mean allergies, right? It can make things difficult. There's stuff floating around in the air all over the place, kind of dispersed. It's not great, but if you got the right system in your house, it takes care of all of it. Dave Drakekamp installed that in my house. We always breathe comfortably at home. From humidity control to filtering out the things that make you sniffle and sneeze, it's Dave Drakekamp all the way. A new home comfort system installed by the friendly experts at Dave Drakekamp will have you breathing perfect air, but perhaps your system just needs maintenance. If that's the case, you can count on the friendly, honest experts at Dave Drakekamp to simply recommend a tune-up. They'll just check your system out. They won't come in and automatically say, oh, no, you need a new system. No. They're more honest than that. Maintenance is crucial to keeping the efficiency of your system top-notch, so get on their schedule today. They're not trying to make a sale or talk you into buying anything. They're just looking out for you. We've welcomed them into our home for many years. It's DaveDrakekamp.com.
Find furniture for life from Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, or downtown Milwaukee.
This report sponsored by Exterior Pros and Baths. Trust the pros and kick off your home transformation. Want to save big on your next home improvement project? Visit extpros.com today for expert services at unbeatable prices.
It's time for a getaway to Florida to take on the Rays on the other side of Tampa Bay.
Breaking ball, hammered out to center. Myers back at the track. Wall, bye baseball. Jake Bowers goes deep to center.
Our coverage starts tonight at 5:35 on your home for the Milwaukee Brewers. 620 WTMJ Milwaukee.
It's 5 o'clock. I'm John Mercure. Your top story, staying safe in the standoff in Fredonia.
I'm Julia Fellow, considering a new tax bracket.
I'm Debbie Lazaga, southbound on 894. You got your backups from Greenfield Avenue all the way down and around the Hale interchange all the way almost to Loomis. Northbound 43, looking like backups from Kilbourne all the way to Keefe. Southbound is backed up from Capitol Drive all the way down through the Marquette down to Lincoln. Eastbound 94, watch for delays heading from Highway 164 all the way to Springdale, and again from Calhoun all the way to Moreland, and then again from 84th Street all the way to 35th. I'm Debbie Lazago with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
Going to be pretty nice tonight. Clear skies, a low of 49. Tomorrow, even better. Sunny with a high of 72. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, following a tactical situation in the village of Fredonia. Calls for service started coming just before midnight, and the situation's still going on.
9601 is en route at the command post to staging.
That's police scanner audio from Broadcastify. Staging area, St. John's Lutheran Church and Daycare, which is closed today as the situation unfolds. A man in the home refuses to cooperate and has been called extremely dangerous and heavily armed.
No settlement deal for the former Milwaukee City Attorney Tierman Spencer. His attorney tells the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel there's zero chance of a plea deal.
He'll stand trial on October 27th for one felony count of misconduct in public office and one misdemeanor count of obstructing an officer. He's accused of using his power as a city attorney to prevent the Department of Neighborhood Services from performing inspections and assessments on a property where he stored cars. If convicted, Spencer could face more than 4 years in prison and fines up to $20,000. Sean Brenda, WTMJ News.
Shot at freedom for the Menendez brothers next week. A judge ruled their resentencing hearing can go forward.
The resentencing hearing for Eric and Lyle Menendez will be over 2 days, Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. This after the L.A. County DA tried but failed again to have the resentencing motion filed by his predecessor thrown out. The brothers' cousin, Anna Marie Baralt, after the hearing.
I know Lyle and Eric. I know them personally. I know their growth. I've seen their journeys. And they are absolutely well suited for this process for resentencing.
The brothers murdered their parents in 1989. Karen Adams for CBS News, Los Angeles.
As GOP lawmakers work on a budget bill, President Trump is requesting a new tax bracket for the highest income earners. ABC's Selena Wang.
The president in this Truth Social post said he would be, quote, fine with Republican lawmakers raising taxes on the wealthy, but he acknowledged the political challenges of doing so. But if you read this post, his position still remains unclear. He's writing that even a tiny tax increase on the rich would lead to criticism from Democrats. He goes on to say that Republicans probably should not pursue it, but then he adds, quote, I'm okay if they do.
House Republicans are trying to get much of the president's agenda passed before Memorial Day.
Coming up, a troubling health milestone for the U.S.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 5:04.
St. Vincent de Paul Thrift Stores has been voted the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel's best in thrift. So to all who voted for us, thank you. And to those who haven't yet been here, there are so many items to explore. And at thrift store prices, you can find a really great deal. At the same time, you'll be helping us help others, sometimes folks right in your own neighborhood. St. Vincent de Paul Thrift Stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
Hi, I'm Rose Gray with Fox World Travel, and I'm excited to share that our exclusive guided Alaska land and sea journeys are now available for 2026. We partner with Holland America Line to curate the best and most sought-after experiences to Alaska. We send hundreds of travelers from Wisconsin to Alaska every year, along with experienced Fox tour managers for peace of mind. Don't just picture Alaska, live it. We have limited spots, and these tours are booking fast. Visit Fox World Travel online or call 866 Go Fox Go.
Do you know the secret to losing up to 1 pound of fat every day? At Milwaukee Weight Loss, we know the secret. Our doctor-developed, easy-to-follow weight loss program helps you lose weight fast, naturally and safely, and with no drugs or injections with risk of serious side effects, no prepackaged meals, bars, shakes, and no exercising required. Our program helps reset your metabolism so you can keep the weight off for good with a coach for ongoing support. Our program costs up to half as much and works up to twice as fast as most other programs. Go to MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com to schedule your free consultation.
Hey, it's Steve Scafidi. I've been on this weight loss journey for about 10 weeks now, currently in the maintenance phase. Hit my goal, 35 pounds, reached my weight loss goal easy, fast, safely, and I'm going to continue working with a wonderful team at Milwaukee Weight Loss.
Many patients lose 20 to 30 pounds in about a month or two. That's up to a pound per day. Schedule your free consultation by calling 262-449-1180 or online at MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. That's MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. Results may vary.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 5:06.
1,000 measles infections now confirmed. The majority are in Texas, where 91 children have been hospitalized and 2 unvaccinated children have died.
This is Jim Ryan in Dallas. The West Texas measles outbreak has gone international. Vaccination clinics are underway in Ciudad Juarez, just across the Rio Grande from El Paso. As in the U.S., health officials are getting some pushback from anti-vaccine activists. Nearly 1,000 measles cases have been reported in the Mexican state of Chihuahua, with at least 1 death. Jim Ryan, ABC News, Dallas.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk. The Brewers begin a 3-game series with Tampa Bay tonight in Florida. Coverage begins at 5:30 on WTMJ. And the season's on the line tonight for the Milwaukee Admirals. They take on the Rockford Ice Hogs in Game 4 of their playoff series. The puck drops at 7 o'clock tonight in Rockford.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 5:07.
You love her twice as much today as the day you married her, right?
Welcome to Kessler's.
Hey, John Mercure here for the Mine Shaft Restaurant. You know it's Mother's Day weekend. Take your mom somewhere that is affordable and a great place to hang out. Get mom out of the kitchen and into the Mine Shaft Restaurant in Hartford, the area's most affordable Mother's Day dining destination. The Mother's Day brunch is all you can eat. It's a feast, and it's under $25, far less than what you'll pay anywhere else. Kids and grandkids under 3 eat for free. And your kids can play safely in that world-class game room, quietly tucked away from the dining area while you finish up your meal. The Mine Shaft is super family-friendly. The Wednesday and Friday fish fry is all you can eat in just $7.99. That's right, $7.99. Mom's going to love that. Your mother's Saturday steak or prime rib dinner is under $25. Restaurant inflation is everywhere, but not at the Mine Shaft in downtown Hartford and in Oshkosh. The Wednesday and Friday all-you-can-eat fish fry is $7.99. Call and reserve your Mother's Day table, mineshaftrestaurant.com.
Wisconsin's Afternoon News is on the air, broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue in beautiful downtown Milwaukee. Here are your hosts, John McCure and Julia Fellow.
All right, happy Friday. Thanks for hanging out with us. So glad that you are here. Coming up in just a couple of minutes, a young man who is in Rome and was there when the white smoke came out of the chimney and the Pope appeared on the balcony. We'll do that coming up in a minute. But first, stories you maybe haven't heard a lot about.
In case you missed it.
Lexington, Kentucky.
Hello.
A Kentucky woman said her young son was playing with her phone. She knows he was playing with the phone. And he was just fooling around on the phone and didn't really know what he was doing. And she got the phone back from the son, who was in 2nd grade. His name was Liam. And guess what? 2 days later, a delivery came to her house, and then another delivery, and then another delivery, and another. It ends up that little Liam secretly placed an Amazon order for 70,000 Dum Dum lollipops.
Whoa, that's a sugar high.
Yeah. It cost $4,200. There were 30 cases of them.
How did that pass the credit card?
Well, you know, the credit card's like just loaded in there. Like on mine. Mine's already loaded in there. I just click on what I want to buy and push one button, and it shows up at my house.
Jeez.
Yeah, Michelle's the interim president of Amazon. So,
me too.
70,000 Dum Dum lollipops showed up at the house. Initially, she called Amazon and explained what happened, and Amazon said, well, we'll take 8 of the 30 cases back. She was like, what? He actually ordered all of these. She fought with them, and Amazon is now taking the entire purchase back.
Wow.
In case you missed it.
An Ohio woman was pulled over for a traffic stop in Springfield Township, and a search wasn't needed because her pet raccoon Chewy was caught in the seat holding a glass meth pipe, according to authorities, in its mouth. When the officers took the pipe away from the raccoon, the raccoon pulled out another glass meth pipe. You can see it for yourself if you text WATCH to 855-616-1620. Watch.
Say no to drugs, boys.
This is the officer's reaction caught on his body camera when he saw this.
This is what she's smoking meth in. The raccoon's playing with her meth pipe. Oh, there's no... He's trying to smoke it. All right.
Oh. This was in Springfield Township, Ohio, not Springfield, Ohio, okay?
In Springfield, they're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there.
That's Springfield, okay? Chewy's doing just fine. I'm sorry, that's just so funny.
In case you missed it.
Okay. Well, I've got 2 Guinness Book of World Records for you today. First of all, in China, the team of domino toppling experts joined forces with the window and door company to topple 51,725 playing cards, basically like dominoes, to break this Guinness World Record.
That's a lot of cards.
That's a lot of cards. They said that they had a couple of setbacks. But they finally were able to do it by April 11th when the outside of the transparent structure was subjected to simulated typhoon conditions. They had it in a container, and that's how they kind of tested it for this window and door company. So once they did topple the cards as planned, the Guinness World Records title went to these guys in China. And then the other one is an Irish player, Megan Campbell, Irish soccer player. She plays for the London City Lionesses. Has broken a world record of distance for a throw-in. You know the throw-in when they throw in from the side? Well, 123 feet and 2 inches. The girl is strong.
So is really
do
strong.
not, So the previous record was 114 feet and 9 inches. So she blew it out of the water. So congratulations to Megan Campbell of the London City Lionesses.
In case you missed it.
Last week, All of America had its eyes on Sovereignty, who came in first place to win the 151st Kentucky Derby. But out in Cerrillos, New Mexico, Mini Burro Buttercup she finished the just as exciting Turquoise Trail burro race. For those who aren't familiar, burro racing involves a runner who guides a burro across hills and back trails in either a 3-mile or 6-mile race. In total, there were 14 pack burro races in California, Colorado, Arizona, and New Mexico, supported by the Western Pack Burro Association. Now, runners must control the burro with a lead rope no longer than 15 feet, but those runners must also be patient, as burros are known to be cautious and won't budge from a spot until they fully assess their surroundings. Racers often buy or inherit these burros from owners who run out of money, time, or patience, or others adopt burros that were corralled by the federal government to prevent overpopulation. Novices can easily rent a burro to try it out for kicks. Now, it's not the most fast-paced race you'll see, but it's the only one where people literally,
Thank you.
In case you missed it.
WTMJ, Debbie helps get you home up next.
We didn't write the headline. The Wall Street Journal did. The days of set and forget investing just ended for many Americans. Economic uncertainty and global unrest. It's a wake-up call. Standard financial advice is to avoid making rash decisions during market turmoil. But retirement planning isn't a set it and forget it process anymore. That's where Annex Wealth Management comes in. As fee-only fiduciaries, we craft personalized plans that adapt as needed. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Head to annexwealth.com and click the Get Started button.
John Mercure here for Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. How about upgrading your windows now? You get 6 years, 0% financing at Pella Windows and Doors. That's right, no interest for 72 months. I've just got the patio door coming to my house. I went through the experience with Pella. It's incredible. They come in, they show you all the stuff, they bring the samples. Everything's customized, color, size, all of it. It's all customized. And the time to do it is now with Pella, because right now, 6 years, 0% financing. You have 72 months of enjoying the stuff before you make any payment. Enjoy the possibility with Pella. Visit PellaWI.com today. What's up, Wisconsin? WTMJ's John Mercure here. I've got a great idea for your weekend. Hang out with us as we explore our state. We go all around the state, talk to all sorts of cool people, tell you the events that are coming up, how to get there, what to do. We check in all over the place. This week on Experience Wisconsin, it is Hayward Lakes and Road America. Man, Road America is gearing up. This is going to be a fantastic season. It's Experience Wisconsin, Saturdays at 1 p.m. right here on 620 WTMJ.
Traffic is sponsored by the famous Fox and Hounds restaurant near Holy Hill.
Buy one dinner, get one free tonight at the historic Fox and Hounds Supper Club, including steak and lobster. And desserts are buy one, get one free. Tables are open, foxandhoundsrestaurant.com. All right, Deb, how are those roads?
Northbound 43 backing up from Fond du Lac Avenue up to Keefe. Southbound and northbound 41 both backing up from our usual areas. Southbound from Appleton, northbound from Watertown Plank Road. I'm Debbie Lazago with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
Tonight, clear skies, low of 49. Tomorrow, sunny, a high of 72 degrees. We are joined by Marquette student William de Guzman, who is studying in Rome. He's with us. Thank you so much for being with us, William.
Of course. Thank you for having me again.
Oh, my gosh. The excitement here when there was smoke and everybody got jazzed up must be nothing compared to what it was like there. Tell us yesterday where you were when the smoke started to come and what you did.
So we were actually on the way to St. Peter's Square, and then all of a sudden one of my friends goes, "No, the white smoke come out." So we decided to run as a group to St. Peter's, Took us about 5 minutes to get there, and it was already packed when we arrived.
Oh, my goodness. Was everybody running at that point?
Yeah, people were freaking out. There were people jumping on Lime scooters, bicycles, anything they could to get to the square as fast as can.
I know you're wrapping up your studies there, and as a Catholic, what did it mean? What did you feel when there was the signal that, oh my gosh, we have a new pope? What was going through you as you ran to the square?
Just pure excitement and adrenaline, I think. Really just wanted to know which cardinal they picked and also what name he was going to take, but just excitement.
So, when Pope Leo the 14th walked out, what was your reaction?
I was kind of stunned. St. Peter's, they really shut down the service, so I couldn't really send any texts. I was barely getting texts on my phone. The people around us, someone kind of just shouted out, he's an American, and I was like, there's no way. I even think I said to John in the last interview, I said, I don't think we're going to have an American pope in my lifetime, and I was proved wrong.
Yeah, you did say that, and everybody thought that. Everybody, even the experts didn't have this happening. So now what is your reaction to there being an American-born pope?
I think it's pretty cool. I think it's also really inspiring. It kind of just opens a whole world of possibilities, and looking forward to the things he's going to do in his pontificate.
The Vatican said it's a second pope from the Americas. That's how they put it. Does this boost your faith and what you want to do in life?
Yeah, I'd say absolutely. I think as a Catholic discerning, I think it's really inspiring that American is able to be in the highest office.
So the word discernment isn't used a lot, William, in everyday life, but it's very important to men and women who want to be part of the religious life. You're discerning to become a priest. Does that mean you're thinking about it? Does that mean you're already in the process? What does that mean?
Yeah, more thinking about it and really just continue to pray to try to understand what God's will is for my life. So kind of just taking it day by day. I know I'm currently still in college, but continuing to just try to pray and understand that.
Well, it's interesting because one of Pope Leo's brothers was tracked down, and they said, we knew he was going to do it, almost out of the womb. Like, that's what he wanted to do. He wanted to play a priest when they played. But also, as of a couple of years ago, he said, no, I don't want to become pope. That's too much. And then he said the weight of it, if I'm chosen, I'm okay. Are you almost to the point of go with the flow of what's going to happen in your future?
Yeah, kind of just take it day by day. I know I still have 2 years left at college, but continue to just pray and trust that the Lord will let me know what his will is.
Mm-hmm. I know your parents, and they're very, very proud of you. They're proud of the young man that you are. Do you think it's more likely you become a priest or more likely you don't?
I'd probably say more likely. I think this has definitely stirred something really deep within my heart. I think I've really fallen in love with the city of Rome and really fallen in love with the church and the joy that comes from a relationship with Christ.
How long have you been there?
Since January 14th, so a little over 3 months.
And your last day is today?
Yeah, I leave tomorrow at 6 a.m.
Are you conflicted? It's like a great vacation adventure you've been on because of the timing within the church, and now you have to come back to America. Maybe I should say you get to come back to America. How are you feeling about your journey there, at least for now, wrapping up?
Yeah, definitely bittersweet. Been so privileged to be here for such just surreal experience. Definitely looking forward to coming home, seeing my family and friends, and telling the absolutely incredible stories of everything I've experienced over here.
I saw an interview with another young man in Rome this morning, and he said Rome today almost feels like it has a hangover. Yesterday was the high, and there was the energy. And what does Rome feel like today, the day after all the excitement?
Yeah, I think people are definitely still in shock. I kind of had to pinch myself and be like, wow, we really have an American pope. I know all my friends and myself were out celebrating last night, and really just a lot of excitement and joy for what the future holds.
There's really people from all over the world that go to Vatican City. So what was the reaction on the ground? Were people making stink faces that it was an American, or were they hopeful? Because usually it's not like a high-powered country that the Pope comes from.
I think mostly hopeful. I don't think they really view the papacy as a political power. So I think no matter who cardinal that came out, I think people were going to be happy and excited to support him.
As a person close to their faith, what are you looking forward to discovering about this new pope and about his reign?
I'd probably just say the major issues he's going to focus on. He took the name Leo, so typically associated with Pope Leo XIII, who was a major contributor to Catholic social teaching. So really focusing on the dignity of the human person, and we'll see what he does.
Is Rome exhausted?
I think so. I think we're all a little tired, but still have that adrenaline and excitement from yesterday.
What an incredible moment for you to witness this history with your faith.
Yeah, super blessed to be here, and I'm glad I could see the new Pope just before I leave.
It's like a front row seat. I mean, you were there, you met Pope Francis, and then you were there for Pope Francis on Easter Sunday. You were there to mourn him. Talk briefly about the emotions that you've felt over the past couple of weeks.
Yeah, I think the overall word would be gratitude. I think I've been here just to experience history really unfolding.
William de Guzman,
Yes,
a Marquette sophomore in Rome. Thank you so much for sharing your story with us.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Of course. Man, what a cool deal that is.
Oh, my goodness. Front row to history and something you believe in. I mean, that's incredible.
Can you imagine? I mean, he's 19 years old, and the things that he saw just in the past 6 months. He must have been thrilled to death when he got to meet Pope Francis. Didn't expect that. And then Pope Francis gets sick. And so he sees Pope Francis at Easter Mass after he recovers, and then he's still there to see the next Pope.
Oh, my goodness.
Do his thing.
And the conclave and everything. And he's 19.
Yeah, it is really, really cool. If you'd like to hear that interview or any other stuff we did during the week, like our exclusive with Derek Van Orden, who's fearing for his family, text the word WAN to 855-616-1620, WAN, and you get all of that stuff. You get it all. All right, let's check out the markets. How did we do on this Friday? It was kind of a quiet week. Today, the NASDAQ ended up 1 point on the day. The Dow was down 119. The S&P was down 4 points. Everything kind of bounced around, not a whole lot going on. Annex Wealth Management, know the difference with Annex. All right, the Brewers begin a set in Florida, actually playing at the Yankees spring training facility against the Rays. It's coverage up next right here on WTMJ.
70 years ago, the Blaine brothers founded Blaine's Farm and Fleet as one of the nation's first retail stores to sell goods at a discount. And we've helped supply Midwest farms and families with quality products at